Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT Uverse TV. Now another gorgeous night, albeit a rather warm one here at Globe Life Park. Rangers hope to heat things up even further tonight as they take on the Los Angeles Angels in the second game of this three-game series. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Graves, Steve Busby. Delighted you could join us for this Wednesday night of Rangers baseball. Rangers trying to get back on the winning side of things. And they have Nick Tepish headed to the mound tonight. One of the guys that Nick will be depending upon to get him some runs, Adrian Beltre. And Adrian's been doing a good job of that.
Yeah, he's done a great job against the Angels. He's had a hard time getting pretty good pitches to hit with men on base. Teams are pitching around him, and you can see why. Last night he had 3 hits in the game, hit a home run, hit the ball hard because he got a chance to hit 3 times with nobody on base. And one time the Angels had a big lead. In his last 12 games against the Angels, a .444 average. That includes the 3 for 3 from last night. Career against the Angels, 34 home runs and knocked in 120 runs. That's his most against any opponent.
Well, certainly Adrian trying to keep that up here tonight. Rangers would love to see him stay hot against these Angels and finish off this series with a couple of wins. That'll be Nick Tepish on the hill tonight, trying to continue a very good streak in which he is in. And the Rangers looking to get back in the win column. We'll come back with the starting lineups in the first pitch right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event, now playing at a Ford dealer near you. By AT Uverse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. And by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. A beautiful evening here at Globe Life Park. Rangers getting set to take the field. Before we get things underway, let's head down and check in with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, Nick Tepesch really starting to come into form for these Rangers this extended time at the big league level, obviously doing Nick some good. 4 of his last 6 starts has been able to work into the 7th inning, and whether you talk to his coaches or himself, he says that he's starting to take more command and more ownership of his game out there on the mound, and he's looking to do more of that with just a few starts left in the regular season.
The main thing is just continuing to do what I've been doing and, get better each time I take the ball and, learn from those starts going forward and just continuing to do what I've been doing in the last few.
And that is one of the neat things to see over the course of the season, guys that, as we've mentioned before, may not have gotten this extended look and been able to take the lumps that they have at this level. And when they're able to take them, learn from them, build on them, and then ultimately build a foundation for them going forward, it's encouraging to see. And you've got to feel like Nick Tepesch is one of those guys that's made quite the case for himself to have a spot in the rotation next season, fellas.
All right, Emily, thank you. Yeah, good stuff from you and from Nick, and certainly Nick Tepesch. A lot riding on every time out there, as with every pitcher that goes out there for the Rangers. It's a good time of the year to build up some positive feelings about yourself and about your program going forward. We'll take a look at the Angels lineup that Nick Tepesch will face tonight. Cole Calhoun leads off. He's the right fielder. Mike Trout follows. Albert Pujols at first, bats third. Howie Kendrick is the cleanup hitter. David Freese at third base. Eric Ibar is the shortstop. Chris Iannetta back in the lineup. He bats 7th and catches. Brendan Bosch is the DH tonight, and batting 9th, the left fielder, Colin Cowgill.
Then we'll look at our Sonic scouting report for Nick. He's 4-9 after 19 games, 18 of them starts. 14.2 pitches per inning in his last 7 starts. That's a good number. That's the second fewest since that time. So pitching very efficiently. 0-1, 386 in 3 career starts against the Angels. 2 of them have been this year. 1 in July, 1 in August. Both of them were nice starts. 6 innings, 3 runs, 7 innings, 2 runs. He had a loss and a no decision, but pitched very well against the highest scoring team in baseball.
Well, Nick Tepesch out there, and we'll take a look at the Ranger defense that will back him up. Delivered to you by DeMontra on RV. Ryan Rua is in left field. Leonis Martin in center. Michael Choice in right. Adam Rosales has started first. Rougned Odor and Elvis Andrus back in the lineup, manning the middle of the diamond. Adrian Beltre at third. Domas Dailies is catching this evening. And the 25-year-old right-hander from Blue Springs, Missouri, Nick Tepesch, ready to go to work. Cole Calhoun, who you remember last night, began the game with his 15th home run of the year into right field. That was off of Colby Lewis, and the first pitch tonight is up and in for ball 1. For Calhoun, that was his 4th leadoff home run of his career and his 3rd this year. And he pops the next pitch into foul territory. Long run for Elvis Andrus. He's not going to get there as the ball lands between the tarpaulin and the commissioner's box down there.
That's one you might have a chance to catch it in Oakland, where you can sprint all the way to the ball and maybe slide to catch it. But here, if you're going to get there around the same time as the ball and you're going to be on the dead run, that's not a place you want to be running as fast as you can into that cement wall. That was pretty much an uncatchable ball, even though it hit inside the playing surface.
Yeah, the brick and concrete down there are not real forgiving.
No, if you want to catch one there, you better be stopped and waiting for it.
1-1 pitch now. And
Try it
another
again.
foul by he's almost the same spot. Beltre kind of paralleling now, reaches out and makes the catch. Beltre got to that concrete, ran right alongside of it, and reached out at the last second. Nice play by Adrian.
Adrian is able to go back on the ball, avoid the cement. Elvis, the angle he comes at that, he can't do it the same way. Adrian makes a nice over-the-shoulder play. Knows exactly where he is, knows where that cement is, and reaches out and makes a nice play. Fans are getting out of the way just in case. Well, a nice start to the game tonight compared to last night.
Oh, 1 gone. Now here's Mike Trout. And the pitch off the outside corner. Trout, 288, 32 home runs, 103 runs driven in, and he is 3 for 7 lifetime against Nick Tepesch. A little cue shot foul down the first base side by Alfredo Griffin and on down the line. 1-1 to Trout. Well, we showed you in our pregame statistics during Rangers Live the numbers that Mike Trout has put up this year. Just absolutely incredible. A good fastball running in on him. That ball fouled off of Tomas Staley's foot. It's 1-2.
Good sinker, good movement. And Nick's actually pitched a lot better than his one-loss record. In his 6 of his last 7 starts, he's given up 3 earned runs or less.
Those are the numbers we were talking about for Mike Trout. 103 RBI. That's a career high. 99 runs, a career high. 32 home runs, a career high. And all in the top 4 in the American League.
And that's batting second, too.
Yeah.
It's not like he's hitting 3rd, 4th, or 5th.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
With Nick, in addition to only giving up 3 earned runs or less in 6 of his last 7 starts, the other side of it is the Rangers have scored 2 runs or less in all 7 of those starts. So it's tough to win games, but he has pitched pretty well.
Back to the plate, and he hit him with a fastball. Well, Nick trying to stay inside, and that one got just inside the left sleeve of Mike Trout. Well, the hit batsman puts Trout at first.
Nick is trying to pitch him the way that we've been talking about. Fastballs above the belt on the inside part of the plate, and that one just got away from him.
Just above that elbow. About right there, Trout said, I know this is going to hurt, but...
yeah, I'm not going to be able to get out of the way. Just got to wait for the impact and go to first base. Hope the pain wears off.
First pitch now to Albert Pujols is outside for ball 1. Pujols, 276. Well, he and Trout back-to-back in the lineup. Pujols with 26 home runs and 91 RBI. So between the two of them, they have 58 home runs and almost 200 RBI. 194 to be exact. And breaking ball comes back to the inside corner. And it's 1-1. There you go. That's a better view of this game. There you go. Things are bigger than he is. Trout a modest lead at first, and Tepesch a little toss on over there. Trout, of course, excellent speed, and questionable though whether he tries to do too much with Pujols at the plate. Trout is 14 out of 16 in stolen bases. Rangers with the overshift on. They have 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond. And you got to be careful if you're Nick Tepesch here of giving Pujols something hit to the right side, because he will do it like that. And we'll take a look at the Ford leaderboard in the major leagues this year. The Angels have scored the most runs per game, 4.84. Thanks in large part to those 2 gentlemen we were just talking about, Trout and Pujols. Tigers are second. It has been a very consistent year and a healthy year for the most part for the Angels as opposed to last year. Pujols in the 3rd year of that long-term contract that he signed with the Angels. This is really the first year that he's been healthy for them. Takes that pitch low and inside, and the count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, he's got like 6 or 7 more years left on that contract.
Yeah, he's going to be an Angel for a while.
And with Howie Kendrick coming up next, he will take advantage of that hole with a man on first base. Maybe with no one on, he might not. But with a man on first, he's going to try.
And that's a fair ball by the dive of Adam Rosales down in the corner. Trout putting on the afterburners, will score easily. Pujols is going for 3. The throw, he is safe. Well, Pujols, he was trying to go that way. It looked like he hit a little shank going down there. Kind of squirted off the hands a bit. As strong as he is, though, able to shoot it by Rosales for the triple, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead.
So with Howie Kendrick coming up next and a man on first, if he can roll the ball to right field, it's first and third for Howie Kendrick. So that's what he's trying to do. And he gets even more than that by hitting it right over the bag into the corner. An unusual triple for Albert Pujols. That's his first triple of the year.
Well, like last night, Angels jump out to an early 1-0 lead, and now Howie Kendrick trying to increase that with Pujols at third base. See that inside-out stroke by Pujols. It wasn't fair by much, but it doesn't have to be. First base umpire Doug Eddings making the call as he jumped over the ball. Kendrick back to the screen with that foul ball, 1-1.
That's a tough jam to be in. Nick's throwing the ball pretty well. He hit Trout. Albert didn't hit that ball all that hard. He just hit it exactly where he needed to hit it to do the most damage. Probably the only place in the ballpark where he could hit the ball and get a triple.
Yeah, I think you're right. The 1-1, and that's up the middle into center field, a base hit. Pujols will score. Kendrick drives in his 67th run of the year, and the Angels on top 2-0.
Kendrick stays hot. 12 for his last 19, 13 for his last 20 now.
For Kendrick now, that's 11 RBI in his last 7 ball games. Well, not only hot, but producing. And that's what the Angels have had. Boy, they have been just on fire offensively. David Freese now takes a strike. Freese hitting at .254 with 7 home runs. And he has driven in 45, 2 out of 7 lifetime against Nick Tepesch. Tepesch, a long look, and he will drive Kendrick back with a throw. Kendrick at first base, a threat to steal, maybe in a 2-out situation, not as much with 1 out. He has 13 stolen bases in 18 attempts. Kendrick and Trout and Ibar are the 3 Angels that have double figures in stolen bases. 0-1 the count. And a better move that time by Tepesch. Almost had Kendrick leaning the wrong way. Now Nick set once again. Up the middle, that's a base hit and a rocket right over Tepesch's head. Kendrick will stop at second. So 3 consecutive hits by the Angels. Runners at first and second, a couple of runs across. Still just 1 out for Eric Ibar.
And we've been talking about how hot the Angels are and how many runs they're scoring, and getting a pretty good look at it this inning. They're finding holes when the ball's not hit very well. And they're obviously finding some holes when it is hit very well. Both Kendrick and Freese have stroked those base hits to center field with authority.
Well, Mike Maddox out to have a chat with Tepesch and Telis. Rocket off the bat of Freese, a low screamer right back through the middle. Now 2 on for Ibar. Angel shortstop having a career year for himself also. 64 RBI, as best as he has ever had at the big league level. A .283 average, and he shoots one up the middle, a base hit. Kendrick being waved around third. Here comes the throw from Leonis. They're in plenty of time, and out at home plate is Howie Kendrick.
Take a ride on that throw. We've been seeing that all season long. Evidently, the Angels haven't seen it or didn't believe it. That throw, that was no contest. Kendrick's a pretty good runner. Mike Scioscia going to talk about the play at the plate possibly, but the one thing, Buzz, that's come down in the last couple of days is the catcher can stand in front of the plate if the throw is there in plenty of time,
right.
and
Exactly.
that throw's there in plenty of time, so that's not even going to be overturned. He's got the ball. Nothing they could do about it. I guess they're going to check it, but based on the little bit of a ruling that's come out in the last couple of days, I don't see how they can overturn that.
Well, what they've done, Tom, at least what I read anyway, was they clarified it to the extent that common sense has to be employed. But if the ball, like you said, if the ball is there well in advance, the catcher can catch it even if he's blocking home plate without the ball.
Yeah, and he's blocking the plate right now, but he's out by 10 feet.
Yeah, but once you get the ball, you can block the plate.
Right.
And that was a point of confusion.
I think his knee was actually in front of the plate before he caught it.
And he's going to be out.
Yeah, that's not even a contest right there. That's a wasted challenge.
That was an umpire review.
Was it?
On that collision home plate, on that rule, that's 7.13. That's an umpire review.
Oh, okay.
And all the manager has to do is ask the umpires if they will take a look at it. And apparently home plate umpire, or I should say third base umpire, Jim Joyce, the crew chief, said, yeah, we will take a look at it. So, the out is recorded. Kendrick erased. Runners now at second and third with 2 outs. And Chris Iannetta, the catcher, is up there. Yep, he's trying to drop that breaking ball in and just missed the outside. Iannetta, saw him as a pinch hitter last night, came into the ball game late. He had been out for a couple of games with a sore left hand. He was hit by a pitch on Saturday. Skies to center field. That sends Leonis Martin back a couple of steps. But he stops, waits for it to come down, and that will do it. Angels, though, get on the board first. They score 2 times on 4 hits and lead 2. After half inning, the Angels 2, the Rangers coming up. A first inning run, so the Rangers now playing from behind as they come to bat for the first time, and Southwest Airlines will bring you the batting order for the Rangers tonight. Leonis Martin back in the leadoff spot. He is in center field. Elvis Andrus is next. Then it's the second baseman, Rougned Odor. Adrian Beltre bats cleanup. Adam Rosales at first. Tomas Teles is catching. Ryan Rua is in left field batting seventh. Luis Sardinas is the DH tonight, and Michael Choice bats ninth and plays right field. Matt Shoemaker with a 2-0 lead, and first pitch of the game by the right-hander is outside for ball 1.
Sonic report for Matt Shoemaker. What a year. 14-4. 18 starts, 7 relief appearances. He made the team out of spring training as a relief pitcher, but has morphed into a starter and one of the best in the American League. American League pitcher and rookie of the month for August. 2-0. 2.03 ERA in 2 starts against the Rangers. In August, he went 6-1 with a 131 earned run average. He's on some kind of roll. His last start was not a great start, but prior to that, he was on an extended roll that was pretty impressive. And pretty good for a kid that went to Eastern Michigan University and wasn't even drafted.
Right.
It's not like we're saying, yeah, he was a #1 draft choice or a high draft choice. This kid wasn't even drafted. So you never know.
2-2 the count to Martin. And he skies one to shallow left field, angling out. Ibar, and boy, at the last second, Eric Ibar had to reach back and make the catch. Looked like he was checking Colin Cowgill to see where he was. Almost lost the ball. Take a look at the Angels defense, brought to you by Progressive tonight. Well, you saw the left side out there in shallow left. That's the left fielder Colin Cowgill. Mike Trout in center. Cole Calhoun in right. Albert Pujols plays first. Kendrick and Ibar up the middle with David Freese at third. And Chris Iannetta is catching for Matt Shoemaker. No, one away, and here's Elvis Andrus. Strike one. Elvis, the day off yesterday, as Tim Bogart said, he wanted to get the fast friends up the middle, and he did just that. And Elvis breaking back into the lineup with a solid base hit to center.
Talked about Shoemaker's last start not being a great start. Good swing by Elvis, shoots it back through the middle. Prior to that, he had 3 starts of at least 7 innings and didn't give up a run in any of them. He's got good control. He's only walked 3 batters in a game several times this year. Other than that, it's been less than that. The other thing you like about him, gets the ball and throws it. Doesn't waste any time out there. Throws strikes. You know, he's not an overpowering guy, but he's struck out almost a batter per inning. 117 strikeouts in 121 innings.
First pitch to Odor on the outside corner for strike one. Rodent, like Andrus, back in the lineup after sitting out yesterday. Odor, 255, 8 home runs. And the throw gets away from Pujols. So Elvis up and will motor on into second. And a little snap throw over there by Matt Shoemaker, and it went awry as Pujols couldn't capture it. Elvis advances 90 feet on the error.
Looked like it was a catchable ball, but it was into the runner, which I think affected Pujols' ability to reach out and catch it.
If he catches that ball, Elvis is probably out.
It's pretty close.
Will Rudd, the official scorer, trying to decide to whom the error should go.
You got to decide how far into the runner it was. It looked like it was a catchable ball.
Pujols, the veteran first baseman, might have gotten Albert a little bit asleep. That's going to be an error charge to Pujols on the missed catch. To center field off the bat of Odor, playable for Trout. Staying at second, Elvis Andrus. He's now there with 2 outs for Adrian Beltre.
Heading forward to the third baseman, number 29, Adrian Beltre.
Well, here's that spot we've been talking about for Adrian, Buzz. First base open. Will he get a good pitch to hit? Based on what we've seen the last month or so, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Got some good pitches to hit last night because he either batted with nobody on, or his last at bat, the Angels had a big lead.
Yeah, and you know, people might be saying, well, you know, why not bat somebody good behind him or better behind him than Adam Rosales, who doesn't really put the fear of God into any pitcher. Rangers don't have anybody else healthy at the moment. I mean, that's the best they can do. And look at on-base percentage, Beltre, in part due to the number of walks he's been getting, and an inordinate amount for him, but he's third in on-base percentage in the American League. 1-0 pitch. Pretty good breaking ball by Shoemaker.
Yeah, and Adams has been swinging the bat pretty well, too. He's probably swinging the bat as well as any other Ranger. And even if the Rangers are at full strength, whoever's going to be hitting behind Adrian is probably not going to be the same type of hitter, no matter who it is. And he's probably going to be pitched too carefully anyway. But not quite as carefully as it is right now. Some of these are almost intentional walks.
Right. Shoemaker's 1-1. And Adrian, it's hard for Adrian, too. Anything close, he wants to expand his zone. And as good a bad ball hitter as he is, he feels like he can take a pitch off the plate or high out of the strike zone and still do some damage with it. Unfortunately, pitchers start making it further and further out of the strike zone. 1-2 the count. To right field, hit pretty well. Calhoun going back. Has it measured up the ladder he goes and makes the catch. That ball carried a little further than I thought, and apparently further than Cole Calhoun thought. But able to make the grab. Beltre a long out. Rangers gone in the first. They strand a runner on a hit. 2-0 Angels. The second, and let's welcome in Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, appreciate it, Buzz. Special guest tonight, Chandler Parsons, the newest Dallas Maverick in the house tonight, and you got to throw out the first pitch, and already our producer Kurt Dykert said that is the best pitch he's ever seen as far as someone else coming and throwing a pitch, opening pitch.
Wow, that's a huge compliment. I was just trying to not end up on SportsCenter, not top 10, so I'm glad I did well.
Now, you played baseball in high school, right? What'd you play?
I did. I played shortstop, and I pitched a little bit just my freshman year, but I made varsity and had a crazy growth spurt my freshman and sophomore year where I went from like 6'3" to 6'8", and just kind of got played out and tired of it and ended up playing basketball and got okay at that.
Yeah, I think that worked out pretty good. Now with the Dallas Mavericks, you got to be excited about the upcoming season, playing for a great team like the Mavericks. Mark Cuban, great owner. Rick Carlisle, great coach.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and this is where I wanted to be throughout the whole free agency process, and we got a chance to be really good right away. So to be able to play for Coach Carlisle and the best owner in sports with Mark and one of my favorite players of all time with Dirk, it's going to be special, and I look forward to getting camp starting and getting to know these guys.
All right, Chandler, we'll let you go. Enjoy the game. Appreciate it. Thanks, Buzz.
All right, Noxie, thank you. I have to agree with our esteemed producer that Kurt Dykert, that was an excellent first pitch.
It was excellent. Best one of all time, President Bush, after 9/11.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
Bosch chops it foul.
We have seen a few basketball players that haven't looked anything like this. He actually looks somewhat like a pitcher. Have you seen John Wall's first pitch?
No, I haven't.
It's hard to imagine that someone could grow up and basically never have thrown anything. I would think he would have been able to throw a baseball better than that, just having thrown a basketball down the court every now and then.
He wasn't too good.
The other thing is, if you throw like that, why would you even agree to go out and do it?
Yeah.
Say, thanks for asking, but, it's really not my cup of tea.
Well, agree to go out and umpire or something if they.
Yeah, go out and wave to the fans
Sure.
with someone else who's throwing it out, but, man.
Brendan Bosch leading off the top of the second inning. Bosch, the designated hitter tonight, moved down to the number 8 spot. Bosch hitting at 140, no home runs, and 3 RBI. As we mentioned last night, had a great summer at Salt Lake City, the AAA affiliate of the Angels. Led the Pacific Coast League in average and was up there in slugging percentage and on base plus slugging. 2-2 still. I think Mike Scioscia and the Angels trying to see if they can't capture lightning in a bottle, the kind of summer that Bosch had. If they could have a big left-handed bat like his coming off the bench for the postseason, it would be a big benefit. They're going to give Bosch every opportunity, I think, going down the last 18 games or so to prove to them that he can do it at the big leagues again. Another 2-2. 2 up or out to Elvis. 1 out. Next will be Colin Cowgill. The Angels come in winners of 6 straight ball games. They have had a 12-game turnaround in the last month. 12 games in the standings. They were 4 games behind Oakland and in the middle of August. And they are now 8 games up on Oakland and just running away. Angels with the best record in all of baseball at 89-55. They have played some outstanding ball. Cowgill, a .260 average, 5 home runs, 21 driven in.
One guy we haven't seen yet in the series is C.J. Cron. And early in the season, he was getting the job done. Boy, he got some big hits against the Rangers earlier in the season.
And he lit him up to about a .370 average, I think it was.
Yeah, they traded Mark Trumbo, and it looked like they had a clone of Mark Trumbo and C.J. Cron.
Down the line by Beltre, and Cowgill with good speed is going for 2, and he puts the brakes on. Boy, a great throw, and the throw back not in time.
It just seems like whoever gets the ball on the Ranger outfield makes a good throw. Yeah. That looked just like a couple of throws Daniel Robertson made the other day, going to the foul line. That was Ryan Rua. Went over, planted his foot, threw a 1-hop strike to second base, and Cowgill definitely made the right choice going back to first base. It had to be hit well located and hit pretty hard to get by Adrian these days, because if it's anywhere near him, he's usually going to make the play.
Well, I know we mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning every time. This doesn't happen just by accident. Gary Pettis has the outfielders out there virtually every day before batting practice, taking balls in the outfield and throwing to second base. Which fouled into the first row of seats. Elvis over there to take a look, but Gary Pettis with all the work that he puts in, and it's paid off for the outfielders. It's paid off for all of them. Because we have seen, I don't think we've seen a team make better throws from the corner men to second base. Certainly we all know about Leonis Martins aren't, but Ryan Rua, Daniel Robertson, Michael Choice, all these guys in the corner spots have really done a great job of picking that up and being very accurate. That's a big weapon. Cole Calhoun fouled out to Adrian Beltre, leading off the game tonight. Cowgill with good speed at first. Calhoun at .282 with the average. He has the 4th best on-base percentage for a leadoff hitter in the American League this year, .347. Takes that slow breaking ball that dances over the outside corner for a strike. And it's 0-2. Calhoun also, in the last 7 ball games, a .344 average. Well, he, like most of his Angel teammates, on fire. Cowgill stepping off his lead at first. Our shot from the camera right down the right field line and the wedgie down there. Still 0-2. Nick Tepesch forced to work overtime here in the early going. 35 pitches through an inning and a third. Daly's waiting for Calhoun to get back in the box before he flashes the signs out. Tepesch sets. And the pitch called strike 3. Like a little cutter from Tepesch that got Calhoun looking.
He threw that pitch right where he wanted to throw it. Calhoun didn't like the call. Trying to get it in. Top of the strike zone. Not a pitch a hitter would generally agree with the umpire on, but technically that is a strike right at the top of the strike zone.
Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire, he didn't hesitate. He rang him up. Yeah, and on 0-2, I don't think that's exactly when you're expecting to get a called strike. You're not trying to throw it for a called strike in there necessarily. But Nick made it close enough and got the call. Well, Mike Trout hit by a pitch. His first time up, scored the first run of the ball game. So he's now up to 100 runs scored this year. Puts him in sole possession of the top spot in the American League in runs scored. In the dirt, nice pick by Adam Rosales over there. And that ball bouncing over at first, so we have to change baseballs. Watch Rosales. Tepesch again set. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Now 2-0. One of just 2 players in American League history with 100 or more stolen bases and more than 550 hits before they turned 23. The other one, pretty good ball player, Ty Cobb. 2-1 now. And when you start factoring in age, there aren't many that compare with Mike Trout over the history of the game. He was that good. Cowgill, a fairly short lead at first. And Tepesch again working inside, misses. 3-1. Trout hitting second. Cowgill at first with 1 out. Albert Pujols waiting in the on-deck circle. Tough lineup to pitch to this part of it when they're playing well. Cowgill on the move, and the pitch is skied to right field. Cowgill has no idea where the ball is or how many outs there are.
Keep going.
And Rosales is running off the field. That was only the second out, right?
No, Bosch made the first out.
My mistake. That'll do it. Somebody else doesn't know, and that's me.
You had, once you said that, I had to look at my scorecard to see if I was right.
Wow, with nothing else. 1.5 in the books. The Angels by 2. Folks, it's time for you to tweet your photo for a chance to have it shown on one of our upcoming broadcasts. And that's all thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Just use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during one of our upcoming broadcasts. And we will show you our selection for tonight a little bit later on. I'll just kick in my fine to the Kangaroo Court anytime. I don't need to appeal it or anything else.
I tell you one thing, you said it with authority. You had me convinced there was only 2 outs, and I was looking at my scoreboard and saw all 3 of them. So I must have written that wrong.
Yeah. We done yet? Pretty close.
You don't make those mistakes, Buzz. That's what I do.
1-1 to Rosales.
I think I'm just rubbing off on you.
Nah. I wish. Adam hitting in the number 5 slot, a .292 average. 4 home runs, 17 driven in. Great on-base percentage for Rosales. As he takes inside, it's now 2-2. Adam going down the stretch will have plenty of opportunities. And Tim Bogart said he's really excited to see what Rosales can do, given more opportunity, given more playing time. He said he hadn't seen Adam with that much of an opportunity. He said he's going to get one here. He's earned it with the way he has played and been ready to play. And a drive to left field, in for a hit. Over to cut it off is Cowgill. And Rosales, after a big turn, hangs on with a solid leadoff single.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see Adam play a lot when he was an opponent. So I really can't remember his offense that much. It just seems like he's swinging the bat with much more authority now than I remember him swinging it. He's taking some good swings up there. That ball nicely in the left field. And you love to see him get the opportunity too. Sometimes you get a label, you're a utility player, therefore you don't ever get a chance to get extended playing time. But you know, in this kind of a season, he deserves it just as much as anybody else.
Tomas Taylor's first ball swinging, skies to right field. Calhoun makes the grab back to first, goes Rosales. So Taylor's out on 1 pitch, and now Ryan Rua will come out.
Sometimes it's difficult to get rid of a label too, the way we are in baseball. You see a player one way, and that's the way it is. But you know, maybe you get a different chance, get an extended period of time to play, and all of a sudden, whoa, it's a lot better than a utility player. Maybe you can get 300 or 400 at bats for us.
Well, would you agree, Tom, that it's, especially when you're playing on good ball clubs, it's hard to get rid of that label?
Sure.
Because you don't get too many opportunities.
Because you're not, yeah, you might not be that, but you're not going to get the chance to play because of the guys ahead of you. But he's showing that he can play first base, second base, shortstop, and third base. And so on a really good team where you've got a regular at all 3 of those positions, let's say it's Fielder, it's Adrian, it's Profar, it's Odor, it's Elvis, whoever it is, you know, maybe you say, well, where's the time to play regularly? Well, there might not be a time to play regularly, but maybe in the course of a season, you give everybody a break at all 4 of those positions, and you can end up with 350 at bats and end up having a really nice season.
There goes Rosales. The pitch is lined to right field. Calhoun on the run, makes the running catch, leaning into it as he makes the grab. Unfortunately, that put him enough off balance that Rosales had time to get back to first. Nice running play by Calhoun.
Now, Ryan hit a ball hard last night. I think in the 10 days that he's been here, he's probably hit 6 balls on a line that have been caught. Hit one to second base yesterday that Kendrick caught. He goes with that pitch nicely, just like he did last night on the line drive he hit to Kendrick. He goes with this pitch, drives it. With a little luck, it goes into the corner. Rosales scores. He ends up at second, maybe third. Instead, Calhoun makes a nice play on a well-hit ball. He's definitely holding his own at the big league level. Ryan's hitting .286 and hitting a number of other balls hard too. The only game he had that he looked bad was against your Donald Ventura, and that's not a disgrace the way he was throwing that night. A lot of guys look bad against him, but he's had a lot of good at bats since he's been here.
Luis Sardinas handling the DH chores tonight. Switch hitter up there from the left side. Shoemaker a long look at first, and the fastball right down through there. Sardinas, .247 average. No home runs and 4 driven in. toss to first. Gardenia's 0 for 4 last night, and he's had a hard time getting on track on this homestand. He's just 1 for 14. Oh and 1 as Shoemaker sets. Now 1 and 1. Gardenia's just a 21-year-old. He and Rougned Odor, and when Odor came up in May, both Sardinius and Odor were kind of in the same situation as far as where they were playing, what they played. There goes Rosales. The pitch is slow. The throw to second. They got it. Nice throw by Iannetta, and Rosales cut down trying to swipe second. Rangers gone in the second. No runs a hit, nobody left. And after 2, it's the Angels 2 and the Rangers nothing.
Live Park, Buzz and Tom, time for Community Corner. But first, we got a question over here. What was that?
I want on TV.
Be on TV? You're on TV right now. There you go. Community Corner tonight. Listen up here. This is a good one. Before the game, representatives from Globe Life and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, they handed out grants for baseball and softball organizations, like 11 organizations, close to $100,000 in grants. And to find out more, log on to texasrangers.com/foundation. How about that, huh? Good? Good. Okay, good. Thank you, buddy.
Knoxie, he expected a little bit more than that. That wasn't what he had in mind. Pujols lining one to right field and deep. Back is Joyce. He can't get it. It's off the wall, and Pujols, who tripled his first time, is going to put the brakes on at second, and they got him. Threw in behind him to Elvis Andrus, and Pujols got caught in no man's land.
Well, he hadn't had a triple all year. He was thinking, I'm going to get 2 and 2 at bats. Michael made a good try for it up against the wall. Try to take the base hit away from him to begin with. Let's take a look at it. It's a line drive, hit pretty well. Couldn't quite get to it, but he recovers nicely. Chases it down. Fires to second. Put the tag on him, 1 out.
It does go down as a double, and Michael gets an assist on that throw.
Whoops.
Pujols said, doggone it. Thought I had that easily. Not the case. Kendrick, next hitter, fouls it off to the right. And the count very quickly goes to 0-2.
Well, Nick's been helped by a couple of good throws. earlier in the first inning. Great throw by Leonis Martin to gun Kendrick down at the plate. Saved a run, and who knows what else. If he's safe to get an extra out, you never know what would have happened.
1 ball, 2 strikes now. Kendrick, an RBI single back in the first inning. That was his 67th run driven into the year. Kendrick, as I mentioned, on a pretty good RBI hot streak. 10 RBI in the month of September. Chops one to Elvis. And Elvis will fire on to Rosales. 2 gone. Next will be David Freese. And before Freese comes up, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Here's John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you. Boy, Baltimore just made that kind of a runaway in the East.
A 10-game lead.
Take a look at the AL East. The magic number for Baltimore down to 8. 10.5 games over the Blue Jays and 11.5 over the Yankees. Pitch to David Freese, low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Freese had a solid base hit to center his first time. Angels put together 4 of their 6 hits in succession in that first inning. 2-1. Started when Trout was hit by a pitch with 1 out. Pujols then tripled him home. Kendrick singled home Pujols. Freese and Ibar both singled. Slowly hit down the third baseline right there, Beltran. And that'll do it. Oh, the leadoff double and caught rounding second. Makes a big difference in the inning. No runs, no hits, or 1 hit, and nobody left. 2-0, Los Angeles. Is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 live app for baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and a whole lot more. Get at bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit TexasRangers.com, MLB.com. Matt Shoemaker back to work here in the bottom of the third. And Luis Sardinas takes strike 1. Sardinas was left standing at home plate when Adam Rosales was caught trying to steal to end the second. Chopper foul, and Shoemaker now with an 0-2 advantage in the count. Shoemaker just 27 pitches to work through the first couple of innings. And the 0-2 count on Sardinas. in the hole. Ibar up, throwing, high, safe. Pujols couldn't get that foot back down in time, and Sardinius, of course, very good speed getting down that line. Well, what a play by Ibar.
Yeah, Ibar, he's quietly becoming one of the best shortstops in baseball. I think sometimes we don't give him enough credit. He's going to knock in 70 runs this year. A lot of the season he hit 5th in the lineup for the Angels. He was a terrific shortstop to go along with it.
So Sardinius aboard. I'm going to assume that's going to be a base hit. Now the number 9 man, Michael Choice, up there. Line drive, hooked down the line, but hooked foul. Michael reaching out for an off-speed pitch just out in front of it. Michael, a 181 average. Moved down to the number 9 slot by Tim Beauregard. Michael had an 0 for 2 with a walk in last night's ball game. Again, Shoemaker, that looked like that split-fingered pitch that he will throw. And not a huge variety of pitches, but boy, he has good command of all of them. So a 4-seam fastball with a little cutting action and a sinker, or a 2-seam tailing fastball that sometimes sinks. Curveball and the occasional splitter. 0-2 the count to Choice. Freeze to Kendrick. Back to first. Around the horn. Double play. 5-4-3. And for the Rangers, that is the 132nd time they have grounded into a double play this year. That is the most in the American League.
Well, Shoemaker pitched for a long time in the minor leagues. We mentioned that he wasn't even drafted. Take a look at nice job of turning that double play with a long throw from third base to second base. Wasn't even drafted out of Eastern Michigan University. Prior to this year, he'd pitched 760 innings in the minor leagues, and he had a 4.46 ERA the last 2 years before this year. He pitched in AAA. He had about a 500 record and an ERA of 5. Now, he pitched in Salt Lake City, which is not a great place to pitch. But still, after 2 years with a 5.0 ERA, that's not exactly the springboard to being 14-4 and being the pitcher of the month in August for a pennant contending team. So he's definitely stepped it up at the big league level.
Now it would seem like, and I don't know how many times this has happened, but we don't talk very often about guys at the big league level, especially having success that Shoemaker's having, that weren't drafted from the States. Obviously Dominican Republic and Venezuela and Latin America, you talk about it all the time, but it seems like Shoemaker almost fell through the cracks of scouting in the United States. That's hooked down the right field line and foul.
Yes, sometimes what happens is you have your draft, you sign your players, as many as you can. The minor league seasons start, and you realize you're a player short, and maybe the farm director calls his scouts and he says, "Look, I need a college pitcher who can hold his own on one of our minor league teams. Do you have anybody in mind?" He said, "Yeah, I got 3 guys that fit that bill." And chances are Shoemaker was one, and they said, "Man, this guy's pretty good."
Martin lost one to left center field. That's slicing back toward Calgill. That is it for the Rangers. The double play erases the leadoff single. And after 3 complete, it remains the Angels 2 and the Rangers nothing. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. At top of the fourth inning, Angels on top 2-0. They have been since the first. And Eric Ibar leading things off. The Ibar, Iannetta, and Bosch to face Nick Tepish. And joining us, as always, for the middle three innings, co-host of Rangers Live before and after the ball games, Mark McNamara. Mac, appreciate you coming up and sitting in for a while.
You got it.
This, again, the Angels, boy, they're in one of those streaks where they just don't let up on anybody. Right out of the chute tonight after mauling the Rangers last night.
Yeah, they're playing good baseball. They're playing excellent baseball. They're getting that starting pitching. They're getting relief pitching. They're getting great defense, timely hitting. Every facet of the game is coming together for them right now, and that's why they've got the best record in baseball.
And I suppose we shouldn't be surprised. You're looking at, even though the last 2 years have been completely out of character for him, health has played a big part in that. But this is a very solid ball club under one of the best managers going, in Mike Scioscia.
It really is, and it amazes me that when a team's not playing well, obviously the first place you look is the manager, but when you've got significant injuries to your ball club, it's tough to blame the manager for that. It wasn't Mike Scioscia's fault that Pujols has had a bad foot the last couple of years, had some injuries to the pitching staff, and now all of a sudden he's a great manager again. Well, a lot of that's due to the fact that his players are healthy, and I think we've got the same situation going on here right now.
Yep. Line drive to center that's taken care of by Leonis Martin. Ibar a hard out. Chris Iannetta.
Yeah, when you look at their team and you see the veteran stars that they have on their team, and then you look at Matt Shoemaker and the season he's had coming out of nowhere, and the veteran guys they've got in their staff, it's not a shock at all that they're playing the kind of ball they're playing.
I guess we lower that bar for a team like the Angels when they've won and then all of a sudden fall out and say, well, they're over the hill and what have you, and without even really taking a close look at why that happened. Iannetta 0 for 1. He flied to center his first time.
Well, one thing that happened in the last couple of years is they ran into the Rangers, and the Rangers pounded them around pretty good. And, we've been a pretty good team, too. So
exactly,
that's one thing that happened to them. The A's have been a pretty good team. They're playing in a tough division, and they just didn't stack up well against the competition. And, they had some injuries, but.
It's going to be a lot of fun next year when we're healthy again. And, those three teams are going at it again. Well, excuse me, 4 teams. Seattle, you got to throw them in there as well.
Yeah, sure do. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't, probably not next year, but it's not going to be too long before the Astros are going to make their presence felt in the division.
Yeah, you're right. I think, a couple more acquisitions. The guys, the team that they've got there, they're getting older, they're getting more experienced. And just being able to go out there on the free agent market, make some trades here and there. I think you're right. I think they're a couple of years away from being very competitive.
A 1-on, 1-out after the Iannetta base hit. Brennan Bosch, a ground ball is short, his first time. Angels now with 7 hits in the first 3 and a third innings tonight as Bosch takes a strike. Bosch just a 136 average, but as we mentioned, put in a lot of work at AAA this year and trying to get back to what he was 3 or 4 years ago with the Tigers. Came into this place in 2011 and almost single-handedly demolished it. He had a 2-home run, 6 RBI game here against the Rangers. Numbers in the Pacific Coast League this year led it in average at 332, and then slugging and on-base percentage, or on-base plus slugging. He was the league leader. A ball and 2 strikes to him. Iannetta at first. Fairly short lead over there for the catcher. That's fouled back to the screen. Bosch is a 29-year-old. He's a Southern California native. He's from Cal and college in Cal. Came up with the Tigers originally in 2010. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Jim Joyce down there at third, punching him out with that right fist. That is out number 2. And before Colin Cowgill steps in, let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim?
All right, appreciate it, Buzz. Kieran Morris with the Texas Rangers here to talk about North Texas Giving Day. Kieran, what's this all about?
That's right. Next Thursday, September 18th, set your date. It's North Texas Giving Day, and all donations made of $25 or more at northtexasgivingday.org will be amplified by additional bonus prizes and money. So if you haven't given to the Rangers Foundation yet, or you're thinking about giving to the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, think about giving it next Thursday on North Texas Giving Day, because every dollar will be stretched a little bit further and will let us help more kids by giving that day.
And tax deductible, right?
Absolutely. All donations made on North Texas Giving Day are tax deductible. And you visit northtexasgivingday.org, and it has all the information. You just look up the Rangers Foundation and help us help more kids in the community.
All right, there you go, Kieran. All right, appreciate it. Great job. Everything, a minute of information in 20 seconds right there. That is perfect. All right, thanks, Kieran.
Thanks, Knoxley. Colin Cowgill at the plate. Count of 2 balls and no strikes. Cowgill, a base hit to left, his first time up there. Got Ionetted, first 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. Angels leading 2-0. Good breaking ball from Tepesh. Cut fastball, I guess. 2-1. Cowgill, 263 average. And Nick Tepesh trying to work around a 1-out Ionetta single. Nice play by Taylor to keep that ball close enough to home plate to make Ionetta stay at first. Nick now already having to go through 70 pitches. Warm night. It was 98 degrees at first pitch, and it's cooled off into the mid-90s. And the pitch is high, ball 4. And the 2-out walk. Now runners at first and second for the top of the order, and Cole Calhoun. Mike Maddox will pay another visit to the mound.
You know, Buzz, you're talking about how warm it is. 101 today. I can't remember that.
That's something.
In September.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had days when you expect it to be 101 when it's been in the 70s, and now you expect it to be a little cooler, and it's 101. It's supposed to cool off the next couple days, though. That'd be nice.
That will be nice. I can't wait for it. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the heat, but I like the refreshing, cool air as well.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Well, Calhoun stepping in. Runners at first and second. Calhoun has fouled out and struck out against Tepesh tonight. Then he rolls over on the first pitch and pulls it foul outside first. 0-1. Our esteemed producer reminding us that today's high in Dallas was 101, which is a record for those of you who are keeping track of such things. No balls and a strike. And the pitch shot down the left field line, but that's slicing and going foul. It bangs off the sidewall, and Calhoun will come back to the plate with a count of 0-2. Calhoun, 1 for 5 with that home run yesterday. Angels have won 21 consecutive games when he scores at least 1 run. That pretty much the definition of a spark plug at the top of that order.
That's a leadoff man.
Yeah.
Getting on base, scoring runs, helping this team get jump started every single day. 21 times. Wow. That's amazing. You know, he's not, you know, your typical leadoff guy.
Nice diving stop by Rosales. Sidearms the Tepesh covering. What a play by Adam Rosales. Angels are gone. No runs, a hit. And 2 men are left thanks to an Adam Rosales dandy play. After 3.5, 2-0 Los Angeles.
On top as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. And Tim Bogar been on the job less than a week, but he is, I guess, fitting in nicely, you might say. And he says it's because of the experience he had as the bench coach, especially here with this team this year.
The benefit of being the bench coach and being able to be around these guys since spring training, and we've built relationships, and I know their personalities. But now, you know, I'm running the ship, and I've got to get to know them even better, and talk to them and tell them what I think, and what I'm expecting out of them. And you know, so there's been a lot of conversation, a lot of communication. I want to hear what they think too. You know, this is 22 days that we get an opportunity to build something, and hopefully going into next year we'll have a foundation to build on, and these guys will be comfortable with me as well as me with them.
So ideas that he had before, ultimately those weren't his decisions when he was just the bench coach. He didn't have the final word. Now, of course, he does. So he says it's important for him to communicate those things to the players. You guys talked before about Adam Rosales and telling exactly what he expected of him, how he was going to use him. Same way with Leonys Martin. He told him he was going to put him in center field every day, have him be the leadoff guy, the most days, so he knows what to expect. And so hopefully that communication can help with certain guys as far as knowing what to expect on a daily basis, as long as he's the interim manager.
All right, Emily, thank you. Elvis down swinging at a Shoemaker fastball, and that was for Shoemaker his first strikeout of the night. Fans to lead off the 4th inning. Now 1 gone for Rougned Odor. Odor, a fly ball to center back in the 1st inning. 0 for 1 tonight, hitting at .255. Yeah, I've seen a couple of comments in the local papers here about there's a pretty good bunt. Shoemaker off balance throw, and it's down the line. Odor just continues on to second. He will pull up there. Oh, Rougned Odor dropping down a very nice bunt. And Mike Scioscia going to talk to the home plate umpire, Adam Hamari, saying that the runner was inside the baseline and he affected the throw of Shoemaker.
That's always a tough call. And you're supposed to be on the right side of that line, but whether he is or not, that's not going to make a difference because that throw is just so far off.
Hamari getting a pretty good earful for Mike Socha. Yeah, and technically the runner's out, even if the ball doesn't hit him. If he interferes with the play, and he certainly screened out Albert Pujols on the play. Now, whether Amari and the crew chief Jim Joyce are going to buy that argument.
I think if he threw that ball where Pujols could have caught it, maybe he might have gotten the call. Do you think he didn't get the call because it was so wide? Because it was so wild?
Must have been.
I think so. I think if there was any type of chance for Pujols to make a play, then maybe. But I mean, it doesn't matter where he's at. Even if he's not running, Pujols can't make that play. It's just 5 feet to his left at least.
Well, it's going to be a base hit and an error on the throw by Matt Shoemaker to allow Rougned Odor to get to second. And Adrian Beltre an opportunity to get the Rangers a run with a base hit. Pitch is low for ball one. Beltre skied to deep right. His first time up there. Had a similar situation in the first inning. He had Elvis Andrus at second and 2 outs. And he sent Cole Calhoun back to the wall to haul in a shot. Now he's got Odor at second and 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Buzz, we were talking about Shoemaker and being an undrafted player. We're talking about scouts after the draft. You draft for 50 rounds, but a scout's draft list is longer than that. So most scouts have 4 or 5 other guys that they, under some circumstances, they would like to have been drafted. They just didn't have room for them to be drafted. But they keep track of who those players are. Their boss might call up and say, we just had an injury. We need a catcher at the A-ball level. Have you got a college catcher that might be able to go there? And they checked their list, and they did. And chances are Shoemaker might have been that kind of a guy, a college pitcher, an accomplished guy who could throw strikes. He didn't sign until August, which was well after the draft. So chances are they needed an extra guy, and they signed him, and he turned out to be a lot better than they thought.
Yeah.
Although he got 760 minor league innings, so I'm not sure along the way how often they thought he was going to be a successful big league pitcher. But he's one of those guys who all he needed was the opportunity, and now he's taken advantage of it. But when you see a kid that wasn't even drafted, that's pretty good. We talk about Kenny Rogers all the time being a 39th round draft choice, but at least he was drafted. And then in that same year, I happened to be in the rookie league, managing the rookie league team when Kenny was drafted. We had a player named Bob Brower. Bob Brower was a football player at Duke and wasn't drafted, and Wayne Krivsky was our assistant general manager, and he kept calling me and said, hey, I got this kid from Duke. I want to give him a chance. He's a good player. He's a great athlete. I said, look, Wayne, we've got 7 outfielders. There's no place for this guy. We don't have room for him. He just kept hounding me every day like only Wayne could do.
And out at third base, Rougned Odor.
Saw that the other night, didn't we, Matt, when you were here?
We did, and again, the inexperience of just the inexperience. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's that first rule of thumb when you're at second base, ball in front of you, stop. It's to your left, you go ahead and go. Freeze on line drive.
And I'll buy that for a lot of rookies, but are the rules different at the big league level than they are at the minor league level about doing stuff like that?
They're not.
Okay.
They're not.
So
different.
this is something that should be addressed every time you step on a field, no matter where you're playing.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. The rules are the same. Minor leagues, same exact thing. You don't try to advance, especially on a hard hit ball. You've got to know where everybody is. You've got to know that as soon as that ball's hit, that's hit right at the shortstop. He didn't have to move. So you have nowhere to go. So you freeze, get back to the bag, and you wait for another hit.
Yeah, not picking on Rougned just for this, but youth is fine, and you make mistakes, and and something to do with the speed of the game and learning how to adjust yourself at that level, that's fine. But we're talking about very basic things, very basic fundamentals of baseball that don't change from the time you're in Little League all the way through the Major League. So this is, it's something that should have been drummed in before, and could have been he just had a lapse of focus.
Right. And a lot of times, I tell a lot of kids that I work with, that's what the minor leagues is for. So you can have these plays over and over and over. So when things happen, it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it.
To center field off the bat of Adam Rosales. Easy play for Trout. And that will do it. The Rangers get a hit. They strand a runner with an error. And we're going to the 5th inning. It remains the Angels 2 and the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. The season is happening on Tuesday, September 23rd. The first 15,000 fans attending the game that night against the Astros will receive a Rangers Garden Gnome, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Be sure to get your tickets for this collectible item at TexasRangers.com. Well, Angels coming to bat here in the top of the 5th. They'll have the big boys up, Trout, Pujols, and Kendrick. Angels 2 runs on 7 hits. Rangers no runs on 4 hits. Angels with the only 2 errors of this ball game. Mike Trout takes the Nick Tepesch pitch low and outside for ball 1. Trout hit by a pitch and scored his 100th run of the season back in the 1st. Last time up, flied out to right. Off speed and in. 1-1. Trout at 288 with the average. Tepesch getting that inside corner that time. That was a little cut fastball that came in the front door to Trout. A ball and 2 strikes. Now, when Nick hit Trout in the 1st inning, he was trying to work him inside, keep the ball tight on him, which we've talked about. Seems like the best thing to do, or at least get the ball up above his number. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, most hitters want to get extended, so they want the ball away from them a little bit. There are very few that want it in. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're going to go inside, you've got to come in there with something. You can't try and come in there and you're throwing 87, 88 miles an hour. You've got to be, over 90 and make sure that you get it in far enough, because if you don't and you miss that spot, to a lot of these big hitters, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, you're going to deafen your catcher. Full count to Trout. That's out of play to the right, and we will try it again. Trout leading off the 5th. He'll be followed by the first baseman, Albert Pujols. Nick Tepish now at the 80 pitch mark for the night. Another payoff pitch. High and tight. Almost hit him again. Trout will take first base on the walk. And for Nick Tepish, that is the second free pass that he has issued tonight, along with a hit by pitch.
Yeah, Nick had the right game plan, just wasn't able to execute the pitch a couple of times to Trout.
You know, I actually like what he's done with Trout the last couple of at-bats. Okay, tried to go inside the last at-bat, hit him, and he stayed inside on him there. And, you know, 3-2, he throws ball 4 inside, and you saw Trout's reaction. He doesn't particularly like that.
Yeah.
He's a little uncomfortable, and that's what, you know, as a hitter, I like seeing pitchers make the other team uncomfortable.
Sure.
And, you know, so sometimes, you know, when you hit a guy, that makes it very effective because, believe me, I don't care how big you are, when you get hit with a fastball, it hurts, and you remember that.
Yeah. There goes Trout, and the pitch is chopped foul by Pujols. Mike Trout, who had a big jump, having to retrace his steps. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike now.
There are very few Don Baylors left in the game. He's about the only guy that I knew that could get hit and just didn't care.
Yeah. Well, I saw him get a little upset one time when he got hit.
Yeah.
Chased Dennis Leonard around for about 10 minutes. He wasn't real thrilled about that. 1-1 from Tepish. And another chopper foul. Albert Pujols in his career. Active leadership. He's 3rd overall in average. 2nd active home runs, 2nd in RBI, 1st in slugging percentage, 2nd in on-base percentage. He has been a mega force in baseball. Rangers this time, you'll remember the first time that Pujols came up with Trout on base. The Rangers went into an overshift, and Trout on the move, and Pujols, little pop fly, shallow right, long run for Odor and Rosales, and it falls in. Trout just kept on going. He's around to 3rd. Odor cut in to cover second base as Trout took off, and Rugnet could not make up the ground, and Adam Rosales, a difficult play, trying to catch one over his head.
And so many times you see the base runner in that position, and they stop, and they look, and they start to go back. You might as well keep going, because if it's caught, you're not going to get back anyway. So Trout says, the heck with it. If he catches the ball, I might as well get to 3rd base than try to go back to 1st base and be out by 10 feet going back. Once you get that far, you might as well just keep going. And it turned out well for him. Turns into a base hit. Adam couldn't quite get to it, and Trout's on 3rd.
Pujols now single, double, triple. Trout over at 3rd base. Runners at the corners, and nobody out for Howie Kendrick. And Mike Maddox out talking to Nick Tepish and the entire Ranger infield. Now, one of those innings that started off innocently. Phil Klein, the right-hander, is loosing in that Ranger bullpen. Folks, while we have a second here, we'd like to invite you to watch Chevy Hometown Kids every Saturday morning. It's on at 10 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. Well, conference concluded, and now back to work as Kendrick steps in. Rangers with nobody out and runners at 1st and 3rd, playing the middle of the infield back at double play depth. Kendrick 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI single. And Tepish, it's that breaking ball to just tickle the outside corner for strike 1.
And first inning kind of rally started like this too. Trout was hit by a pitch, and then Pujols hit that little ground ball down the first baseline for an RBI triple. This time Trout walked, and a little blooper falls in, 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
Kendrick, a late swing and a miss, another good sharp slider by Tepish. 0-2 the count. And Nick looking for the strikeout now that he's gotten 2 strikes on Howie Kendrick. Tepish peering in for the sign. Gets the one he wants from Tomas Telis. Couldn't get a swing from Kendrick on that breaking ball, but well located 0-2 pitch. 1-2. Kendrick 67 RBI this year, a 290 average. Chevy pitch tracker showing you the pitch count at 88. Fastball's just a little bit over half the time for Tepish tonight. Double play ground ball to Odor. Andrus back to first. And the 4-6-3 twin killing, but Mike Trout scores from third. That makes it a 3-0 Angels lead and no RBI for Howie Kendrick.
Third baseman David Freese.
In that situation, middle of the game, you have to hope you can score the runs. But it's tough to play to cut the run off at the plate. Got to play to get the outs, and Rangers turn the double play. They give up the run, but they get 2 outs. The hope there is that you give up the run, but you avoid the big inning.
No, base is empty now with 2 gone. And David Freese takes ball 1 from Nick Tepish. Freese, a single in the first, a ground ball to third in the third. Up the middle, off of Tepish, ricochets toward the line, and a little flip gets away from Rosales. Freese is going to be safe at first base, and that sounded like it got Nick Tepish's shoe. Thought I heard leather. Maybe it wasn't an ankle because he wouldn't be walking like that.
It got something.
Whatever it was, it got him solidly because it didn't glance off. It almost stopped and came back toward the hitter.
That is not a casual walk.
Matt Lucero, the assistant trainer, and Tim Bogar, Mike Maddox.
Okay, got the side of the foot.
A better idea here. Well, I don't know. But you're right. Whatever it hit pretty solidly. Nick Tepish taking a couple of tosses just to make sure that it's okay, and he assures everybody that it is. Yeah, he will work to Eric Ibar now with Freese at first and 2 outs. It's going to be fine as long as he has the adrenaline flowing, but when you sit down and let that adrenaline leave your body, and all of a sudden everything swells up, it hurts. You can't take your shoe off and
just keep moving around.
Just keep moving around. Ibar, first ball swinging, pops one down the left side, and that will go back into the seats about 4 rows. Hope Elvis and Adrian Beltre over to have a look. Oh, and 1 to Ibar, who is 1 for 2 at a first inning single last time up. Hit the ball right on the button, but lined out to Leonis Martin in center field. Angels leading 3-0. They have out-hit the Rangers 9-4. Ground ball. Nice cut off by Odor, who flips it by Elvis Andrus. And everybody's going to be safe.
Look, it looked good. Looked like he was going to make a nice play. Unfortunately, the throw was a little bit offline.
Well, I actually like the fact that he used his bare hand. It was just, throw was offline as opposed to trying to do a glove flip. Wasn't sure. I actually thought he was going to have to lay out for it, but he was able to get to it. Plenty of time. He just kind of threw it underhand instead of giving it a more of a shovel. But he's got the right idea, and that's really what it is. I mean, we've got to look at him and know, hey, this guy's the youngest player in the major leagues. just for him to be able to get to that ball is a great play. Now it's just a matter of finishing it off.
Looks like he threw it hard enough that Elvis couldn't really react to it before it got by him. Well, that's going to do it for Nick Tepesch. He leaves after 4 2/3 innings here tonight. Trails 3-0, has a couple on board that are his responsibility. Phil Klein coming in, and while he begins his warm-up tosses, we'll take a timeout. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Ranger ball game. The pitching change is made, and Phil Klein has entered to take over for Nick Tepesch.
Yeah, Phil Klein's had an opportunity to pitch in 12 games, done a nice job. Pretty solid ERA. 16 strikeouts in 13 2/3 innings. Opponents are only hitting 176 against him. Trying to get out of this 2-man on, 2-out jam.
Klein taking over for Tepesch. Nick allowed 10 hits in 4 2/3 innings tonight. 3 runs, and the 2 runners on base that Klein inherits are Tepesch's responsibility. Chris Iannetta 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch breaking ball, and Iannetta takes it for strike 1. Iannetta's base hit was last inning. Got as far as second base, was stranded there. Klein back to the plate, and Iannetta skies to right field. Jogging in, Michael Choice puts it away, and that is it for the Angels in the 5th. They do score a run on 3 hits and strand 2. We're halfway through the ball game. It's the Angels 3 and the Rangers nothing. Braves make their only appearance at Globe Life Park this year, and that begins on Friday night. Rangers and Braves play a 3-game set over the weekend, and tickets for the 3 games start at just $14. You can get yours at TexasRangers.com. Braves, another one of the teams the Rangers will face going down the stretch that really involved in playoff possibilities, trying to get a wild card spot in the National League. Bottom of the 5th inning, Tomas Taylor starts things off. And Shoemaker fires strike 1. Taylor's a fly ball to right, his first time up. Tomas, a switch hitter. He goes after the next pitch and lofts one to right center field. Ambling over is Mike Trout. That is out number 1. And before Ryan Rua steps in, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Here's John Radigan. All right, John. Ryan Rua steps in. Rua scalded a ball to right field his first time up. Had nothing to show for it. And National League wild card, pretty good race. You got the Pirates, Braves, and Brewers all within a game and a half of each other for that second wild card spot in the National League. And a reminder for you that Fox Sports 1 will be the host for the National League Division Series. Follow all the playoffs on Fox Sports 1, National League over there, and the Division Series this year. 2-1 pitch. Shoemaker gets the call on the pitch on the inside corner. 2-2.
I kind of like that second wild card. I wasn't sure if I was going to like that, but I like it. It gets a lot more teams involved, a lot longer and deeper into the season.
Ouch. Ground ball right off the fist. And shot down. Sorry about that.
That might have hit off the elbow.
And we're not laughing at.
No, I believe. I've had many of those. Yeah. It's not a good feeling.
And as a pitcher, I always snicker when I hear that sound.
I bet you did.
It does my heart good.
No, Shoemaker's not a hard thrower, but he runs that fastball in on the fist. Shoemaker's last 12 games, 10 of them have been starts, 2 relief appearances. He's 9-2 with a 2.26 ERA. He's not a hard thrower. So probably the reason he wasn't drafted, probably the reason he pitched so long in the minor leagues. He finally got a chance this year, made the team as a reliever, and when they put him in the rotation, he's just gotten everybody out. Typical game for him really today. He's had 3 games all year where he's walked 3 batters. Other than that, it's always been under 3. Hasn't walked anybody today. Doesn't have the strikeouts today, but for the season, it's almost a strikeout per inning. So you're looking at a guy that's not overpowering, doesn't light up a radar gun, but really knows how to pitch.
Yeah. And apparently that was the case throughout the minor leagues, too, because he had almost a strikeout per inning in his minor league career.
Yeah, and it's tough to call him on his ERA in Salt Lake City because I've played in Salt Lake City, and that ball jumps out of there.
Ibar, a jump throw, not in time. Gardenia's able to leg that one out. Pujols came up with a short hop, but Gardenia's by the bag by then. And Mike Scioscia is going to head out and maybe challenge this. He will meet with Doug Eddings, the first base umpire. Scioscia getting himself in position where he can look into the Angels dugout as managers do. See what you think.
Ibar's a terrific player, and he makes a nice play. And I guess Mike Scioscia feels like he's going to take a look at it.
This is a slowed down version of it.
Yeah, he might have an argument.
He might have an argument there. Well, we'll find out. Eddings, the first base umpire, and crew chief Jim Joyce, who's down at third base.
That's a tough call for the first base umpire.
Yeah.
Generally, you can hear the ball smack into the glove and you can hear the foot hit the base. But when it bounces like that, it hits the glove softly, and you can't really get a feel for whether he's out or safe based on what you hear, then it's a tough play to call. And it was very close either way.
Yeah, umpires say they have to be careful because the first sound you hear is the ball hitting in the dirt, and then it goes into the glove, and like you say, that's a soft sound. And that didn't take long for that decision to come down. The call is overturned, and Sardinius is out. It turns into a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Shoemaker. Rangers gone. We have finished 3-0 Angels. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event, now playing at a Ford dealer near you. And by a reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting, designate a driver. Angels on top, 3-0. They have doubled up the Ranger hit total. Angels here in the 6th inning have Brennan Bosch to start off, Colin Cowgill and Cole Calhoun to follow. And Phil Klein with the first pitch of the inning is low for ball 1. Bosch grounded to short and struck out against Nick Tepesch. Now facing Klein, who entered and got the final out of the 5th inning. Tailing fastball, 1-1. Bosch, a big left-handed hitter at 6'4". Fills up a lot of that batter's box. Matter of fact, this is a matchup pretty good sized men out there. Bosch at 6'4" and Phil Klein at 6'7". Klein out of Youngstown State University. 30th round pick out of Ohio. 1-2 the count. That will even things up. I mentioned Bosch came up with the Tigers in 2010 and had his best year the next year. 283 in 115 games for Detroit. 16 home runs and 54 RBI. And he drives one to left field. Into the corner goes Ryan Rua, able to track him down. One away. Next will be Colin Cowgill. Cowgill has been aboard both times tonight. He's walked and had a base hit to left field. Calgill playing in place of Josh Hamilton. Hamilton missing his 6th consecutive game with that soreness in the shoulder area. Had a bad AC joint. One ball, no strikes. Some cynical Ranger fans will say, yeah, nothing's changed with Josh, and that's still a lot of animosity, judging from the reception that Josh Hamilton got here the last time the Angels were in town, over how things were left when Josh departed. You know, Calgill on for his 3rd time as he's hit by that pitch from Phil Klein.
Yeah, you know, Josh said some things, and that upset some fans. But when you look back over the last 7 or 8 years, the one thing that you can't lose track of is we don't go to the postseason with the same success if he's not batting fourth in our lineup.
You're exactly right.
So you can never lose track of what he did on the field and what he did off the field. And he left by saying a couple of things that upset the fans. But it's hard to imagine that a couple of sentences could outweigh everything that he did while he was here. He was one of the best players in baseball. He was the first Ranger to sign autographs for anyone that asked. The things that he did in the community were significant. So I think the people that do react that way to him should step back and remember what he meant to the franchise as well.
Tom, you took those words right out of my mouth as far as the signing of the autographs and what his relationship, the personal one that he had with the fans. We go all over the place, and Josh did that on the road. He did it at home. So you're right. He does take a lot of hits, and he has in the couple years that he's been gone. But I did want to pass that along, too, that the things that he did for the fans, the personal time and attention, was something very special and something that should be commended. So even though he didn't exactly exit the way I know everyone wanted him to, he definitely brought a lot to the table.
You know, the other thing, Em, that I know you can speak to is being accommodating to the media. You're down in the clubhouse every day. There's plenty of days where the guys don't feel like talking, but I don't remember a time when he was unavailable.
Yeah, and he had a different kind of a schedule because he was getting treatment a lot and different things like that. He was pretty accessible, but I think too, one thing that I think his teammates didn't fully appreciate about him until he was gone, there was always a storyline, it seemed, surrounding Josh. So he deflected a lot of attention. You know what I mean? And so when we were all huddled up around Josh's locker, we were taking attention away from others that they were quite okay with. And then when that left, it caused a lot of guys that weren't used to talking to the media so much to have to deal with this a little bit more.
What did he say that one time? I forget what the issue was.
It's me, you guys.
That's
it's going to be
Josh.
weird. It's going to be weird. It's me.
So
it's going to be weird.
He's pretty much acknowledged that himself.
Yeah. So you're right. I mean, it's unfortunate, the way it ended, but he did a lot of great things.
That's trouble off the bat of Calhoun into the left field corner. And being held up at third, Calgill, as Ryan Rua got the ball in quickly. But Angels now with a hit batter and an opposite field double have runners at second and third, and just one out for Mike Trout. '26th double of the year for Cole Calhoun.
Well, Calhoun's done a great job for the Angels as their leadoff hitter. Homegrown player. Nice to have a leadoff hitter that can hit 15 home runs. Get on base, run the bases. Been a good player for them.
Yeah. Highest slugging percentage of any leadoff hitter.
Yeah, pretty good.
They're going to intentionally walk Mike Trout. And, this is pick your poison right here.
It really is, and especially Pujols just needs a homer for the cycle.
That's right.
So I wonder what he's going to be swinging for with the intentional walk in front of him.
On top of it, hit a ground ball to shortstop and make us all happy.
Well, Mike Trout tonight has been officially 0 for 1. He will remain that way. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the first. He walked and scored in the fifth, and he walks here now. An intentional pass issued to him will load him up, and Mike Maddox is on his way to the mound. Yeah, I'm not really sure what you go out and tell a pitcher in this situation. I think Phil Klein knows who's coming to the plate, but Mike going to go out there and make sure that whatever information he has, he's going to pass it on to both Klein and Tomas Teles. Adam Amari, the home plate umpire, is going to go out, throw his 2 cents worth in. John Edwards, the tall right-hander, getting loose in that Ranger bullpen. So the base is full of Angels with 1 out in the 6th inning. LA on top 3-0, and Phil Klein trying to keep that margin where it is.
And Phil knows what his job is right here. It's probably unlikely in this situation that Pujols is going to strike out. You want to keep the runs from scoring, so throw the sinker, try to get him to hit a ground ball. If he does hit a ground ball and someone catches it, got a pretty good chance to turn a double play.
With the exception of Adam Rosales at first, all the infielders playing back and hoping for that double play ground ball. And a breaking ball is low and outside for ball 1. Pujols an RBI triple in the first. He had a double leading off the 3rd, and he was caught wandering around second base as he was thinking about going for 3. And last time up, he blooped a base hit into right. 1 ball, no strikes the count. That's in the dirt. What a stop by Teles. That ball way out in front of home plate when it bounced, and I have no idea how he stopped that. He had to use something other than his chest protector.
Well, let's take a look at it. Not only did he block it, that ball went right in his glove.
Picked it.
That looked like Pudge going after that ball.
No kidding. 2-0 now the count. Right down the middle. I think he is 2-1. Last cycle for the Angels back in May of last year. Mike Trout against Seattle. And Trout over there at first base. He is one of 3 Angels on the base paths here for Pujols. Klein set. The 2-1 pitch. That'll be out of play down the right side. Two balls, 2 strikes. Well, you make a quality pitch here to Pujols, you get an out, and you may get 2 outs out of it. Klein peering in for the signs. Tomas Teles flashing them out. Calgill, Calhoun, and Trout. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Just getting a piece of that breaking ball. Pujols stays alive. Pujols walking over, looking into the Angel dugout, kind of shaking his head. First time that Pujols has faced Phil Klein. Still 2-2. Ranger right-hander sets at the belt. Double play grounder to Elvis. Odor back to first. 6-4-3. And there's what you want. Phil Klein gets exactly what the doctor ordered. And the Angels are gone in the 6th. No runs, a hit, and 2 left. After 5.5, it's still the Angels 3 and the Rangers nothing. Time now for the Sonic Slam Inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $400 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Tim Barnes from Dallas. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Tim Barnes from Dallas will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Mike Scioscia had a long visit out at second base with Corey Blazer, the second base umpire, between innings, discussing whether or not Rougned Odor was on the bag when he got the throw from Elvis. And it was a valid point, but yeah, I believe Scioscia's out of challenge. Is that correct? I think he had one earlier in the game.
He had one, but it was successful.
No, he could have issued a challenge there. No, I take it back. That's a neighborhood play. And that is not a reviewable play in that situation. So, Rangers coming to bat here, trailing by 3, and Michael Choice takes strike 1. Choice grounded into a double play, his only time up there tonight. Shoemaker misses outside. 1-1. Michael, a 181 average.
The rule on the neighborhood play, Buzz, or Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you lose the neighborhood play if the throw is wild and you have to step off the bag to catch it, right?
That's correct, yeah.
So that one didn't look like it was wild.
No.
He may have come off a split second early, but so does that count as a legal in the vicinity play?
Yeah, that is the neighborhood play.
That's the neighborhood play. And
where he didn't have to make an extraordinary effort to get the ball.
Right.
Yeah. So that's not reviewable on a manager's challenge.
Now, if he had to reach for the ball, which took him off the bag, now that's a different story.
Right. 1-2 pitch. And Michael able to lay off that breaking ball. Shoemaker back to the plate. And Choice takes low. 3-2. Oh, Michael trying to get aboard to start off this Rangers 6th inning. Top of the order, and Leonis Martin waits to be next. Payoff pitch. We'll try it again. Shoemaker tonight has not walked a hitter. He has only one strikeout. He was saying last time the poor outing, according to him, when he had Minnesota, he didn't have command of his pitches, and that hasn't been an apparent problem here tonight. Gets in on Choice and a little pop-up in foul territory that Freeze, the third baseman, takes care of for out number 1.
Center fielder, Leonis Martin.
Oh, one out. Leonis Martin coming up. Let's visit with Jim Knox again. Jim?
All right, Buzz, real quick, tomorrow night when fans come to the Rangers-Angels game, the first 15,000 fans receive this nice, fantastic Fans Choice camo T-shirt. You guys voted for it about a couple of months ago. Nice Ranger T-shirt tomorrow night. First 15,000 fans. This guy, he came from work. You need a little Ranger T-shirt. Go ahead, buddy.
T-shirt, man.
Yeah, T-shirt.
Yeah.
Buddy. Yeah, there we go. A little excited about this T-shirt, Buzz. Thank God he has an undershirt on. There we go. All right. No! All right, camera, get away from that.
Oh. Now we're talking, Noxie. There you go.
Come on now. There we go. Okay, really like the T-shirt. How about it? Woo! Outstanding.
That was a little more than we bargained for.
Yeah. But it's Jim Knox, too.
This is true.
That's what happens.
This is true.
2-1 to Martin. Now 2-2. Knox can get people incited to do odd things.
Sometimes you just hold your breath. It's kind of like live TV.
Yep.
And so, in some instances, close your eyes.
Martin tonight has popped out and flied out. 0 for 2. He gets sawed off, and Kendrick step into the outfield grass. Takes care of it. 2 gone.
We're talking about pitching in and having success doing it. You have to say that Shoemaker has the knack of pitching in. 88 to 91 mile an hour fastball with good movement, but man, he can locate his pitches pretty well. Hasn't walked the batter tonight. He's only struck out 1. Generally, he strikes out more than 1 in 5 2/3. Rangers are making some contact, but you'd have to stretch it to say it's solid contact.
Looks like he has that ability to make that fastball move both ways, and if he throws it on the first base side of home plate, it moves away from the center of the plate. Third base side, same thing, moving away from the center of the plate and into the hitter usually. Nice ability to have. Slow chopper out to Kendrick, and the Rangers are going to go quickly and quietly. 1, 2, 3 and out after 6. 3-0 Angels. And Mac, thanks for joining us. We will see you after the ball game on Rangers Live.
All right, guys.
A lot of base hits and not many runs. They've been held down to a bare minimum by the Rangers, but still lead 3-0. Albert Pujols, meanwhile, a triple, double, and single, an RBI and a run. Also a ground ball double play, which hopefully will prove big for the Rangers. Meanwhile, Matt Shoemaker has been tough tonight. No walks and 1 strikeout over 6 innings of work of shutout baseball. And as we go to the top of the 7th inning, it is the local product from Keller, Texas, John Edwards.
7th game for John. Trying to keep this game at 3-0. Rangers have actually done a pretty good job to keep it only 3-0. Angels have had a lot of base runners and a chance to have a lot more. Had a couple of men thrown out on the bases. 1 at the plate, 1 rounding second base too far. And then a big double play against Albert Pujols with the bases loaded.
And Howie Kendrick had a very big double play back in the 5th inning. He was up there with runners at first and third, grounded into a double play. The Trout scored, but it prevented what could have been a big inning. 1-1 pitch to him. Edwards pulling that string. Our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the night. And how about this throw from Leonis Martin? Not only freaky fast, but right on the money.
He had a stretch there for maybe 2 or 3 throws where he had the same throw, but it was on the first base side of home plate, and the catcher had to go to the right and try to come back and make the tag and couldn't do it. Last couple of throws he's made have been on the third base side or right on the bag and right on the base, and that gives the catcher a much better chance to make the tag. You throw it right there every time, you've got a good chance.
Can outfielders go into a throwing slump?
I guess you can. Be a little bit offline.
Yeah. Is it a rhythm thing about fielding the ball and throwing it?
I don't think so.
No?
I think, it's kind of like a pitcher making a pitch that's a little bit outside or right on the corner. It just, you make your strong throw. I think what it really speaks to is how hard it is to accomplish that play as a center fielder.
Shot up the alley by Kendrick. He'll hold on after a long single.
You know, you figure the center fielder has to get to the ball as quickly as he can, catch the ball, and then throw as quickly as he can. You don't have time to get under control and throw it sometimes. You know you've got to catch it, get rid of it quickly, and then throw a long throw so the catcher can catch it. Hopefully, many times you want to hit the cutoff man, so you have to keep the ball down. So I think when you think of all the things that go into making that play, it's actually pretty hard to make an accurate throw. And maybe sometimes you sense that it's going to be a really close play and you have to get rid of it quick, and maybe you rush it a little bit and makes it harder to throw the accurate throw. I think most of the time, if he feels like he has time to catch it and throw it and get the runner, then he'll make an accurate throw. Right. Some of them, I think, happen maybe when he rushes it and he knows it's going to be an outside chance to get the runner.
0-1 the count to David Freese, who is 2 for 3 tonight. To the right side by Odor into right field. Kendrick a turn, and he will get back very quickly as he remembered what happened to Pujols on a similar kind of play where Pujols rounded the bag too far and Michael Choice gunned him out. But the Angels now with back-to-back singles to greet John Edwards here in the 7th inning. Again, Mike Maddox out to the mound this time to talk to John Edwards, and a pinch runner meanwhile has come in for the Angels at first base, taking over for David Freese.
Saw Sean O'Malley come into the game last night as a pinch runner, and then John McDonald going to play third base after that. When you've got that many men on the bench, you can afford to burn one of them. O'Malley evidently a little bit faster than John McDonald. John McDonald, a very good defensive player. They use a combination of a couple of players. And I think almost every game that we've played the Angels late in the game, when what looks like it might be Freese's last at bat, he comes out of the game and McDonald goes in and plays third.
Yeah, it's been anywhere close to a close ball game. A few run differential. It's almost always been McDonald. So Angels at first and second. Ibar, of course, an outstanding bunter. And the Rangers playing the corner men in, expecting Ibar to try and lay down a sacrifice here. Kendrick at second, O'Malley at first. Edwards will make a turn, and Ibar squaring around late, and that might have been a setup move. I'm not so sure Ibar is thinking about bunting. I think he did that for the benefit of the defense. That pitch all the way to the backstop by Teles.
Takes care of the sacrifice.
Yep, forget about sacrifice. Ibar wasn't going to do it anyway. Well, the wild pitch advances Kendrick to third, O'Malley to second. John Edwards just buried that thing in the front of the batter's box.
Yeah, that was a very tough one for Teles. And now the infield will play in, and John's got his work cut out for him now. Ibar's a pretty good contact hitter, does not strike out very much. But he might strike out if he keeps seeing that pitch.
Especially if he keeps swinging at it like that.
Ibar's been up 540 times. He's only struck out 55 times. In today's game, that's not very many.
Well, Ibar is 2 for 3 tonight. Single to center and an infield single. He's also line to center, so he has stung the ball a few times tonight. He loops that one foul and out of play and gets a ball and 2 strikes. Well, now Edwards in a position where he can at least make it tough on Ibar to make contact. 1-2 with nobody out. Angels 3 runs on 13 hits tonight. Two and two. Ibar, as we told you, already a career high in RBI with 64. His previous best was 62. Edwards studying the signs. The right-hander sets. And now Ibar backs out. Good look at the Ranger infield, all four playing just in back of the cut of the grass. Off speed, and Ibar wouldn't offer. The count is now gone full. Luis Alberto Bonilla in the Ranger bullpen. 3-2 with nobody out. Ibar in there. The first base is open, so you don't really have to come in with a strike. Make it something less than perfect, and that's exactly what John Edwards did with the off-speed pitch. And Ibar able to just get a piece of it to stay alive. Ibar, the veteran shortstop, a 30-year-old all-star shortstop this year in the American League. Another 3-2. Got him swinging.
Well, jinxed him. Said he doesn't strike out very much, which he really doesn't. But Edwards made some good pitches down, breaking balls down. He got him to swing at a couple, take one, and then he threw him a high fastball. And he just wasn't ready for it. Threw it by him. Borderline pitch, but he got him to swing at it. Well, that's a big strikeout.
That is out number one. And now Chris Iannetta. Iannetta is 1 for 3 tonight.
Iannetta is a guy that won't swing at a bad pitch. Not many guys in the league have a better eye than he does. He's walked 48 times. He's only been up 275 times. That's the second most walks of anybody on the Angels behind Mike Trout.
Iannetta, a 4th inning single. He also had a couple of flyouts. Got Kendrick at 3rd, O'Malley at 2nd. In the dirt. And the count evens at 1-1.
Iannetta's only hitting .258, but his on-base percentage is .374. He's been hit by a pitch 6 times and walked 48 times.
Edwards back to him. Fastball up and in. And that got him. It got Iannetta. The plate umpire Adam Hamari checking on Iannetta first and signaling immediately that Iannetta hit by the pitch, and that'll load the bases. That is the 3rd Angel tonight hit by a pitch. Nick Tepesch hit Mike Trout in the 1st inning. In the 6th inning, Phil Klein hit Colin Cowgill. And now John Edwards gets Chris Iannetta. You see that ball bouncing off his left hand. And Iannetta, you remember, missed a couple of games after being hit on that left hand. That was back on Saturday. So over the 2nd straight inning now, the Angels with the bases loaded and 1 out. Brennan Bosch, the hitter. Bosch has grounded out, struck out, and flied out, and he takes strike 1. Now, one thing the bases loaded situation now allows you to do is play the infield back. Double play depth up the middle. Beltre off the line at 3rd. Adam Rosales playing in front of the runner. Chris Iannetta at 1st. Broken bat roller to 2nd. To 2nd they get 1. The return to 1st not in time. Just not sharply hit enough in to score is Kendrick. And the Angels extend their lead to 4-0.
That's about as well as you can turn that, though. Boy, they really did a nice job. They didn't do it in time because the runner got down to first base pretty well, and it wasn't a very hard hit ball. But Odor gets in position to throw as well as he can. He throws a strike. Elvis gets rid of it with Iannetta bearing down on him, has to jump over the top. They don't turn it, but that was a beautiful play anyway.
Sure was.
Love watching the slow motion of the shortstop jumping over the runner as he comes in, and you don't really notice it as it's happening until you see it in slow motion replay, and you realize how athletic those middle infielders are at the big league level.
Now Colin Cowgill takes ball 1.
It also shows at second base how if you just catch the ball and then turn to throw it, Elvis wouldn't have even had a throw, but Odor, as the ball is coming to him before he even catches it, has turned his body to get into position to throw it.
Yep.
So that was a really nice play. They didn't turn it, but they did as well as they possibly could.
Cowgill, a perfect night, 1 for 1 officially. He has also walked and been hit by a pitch. And he takes pitch outside, 2-0.
Watch Odor get in position. His back is to second when he catches it. Now watch Elvis. He knows the runner's on top of him. He has to throw it and jump all at the same time. Get something on the throw and doesn't get touched at second base. That's why a lot of us don't even ever attempt to play the middle infield.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to catch it and then throw it. But then to throw it and jump over a runner at the same time.
Right.
They make it look so easy. You just take it for granted. But that's not that easy.
Runners at first and third. Colin Cowgill up there with a count of 2 balls and a strike. There goes Bosch from first. The pitch is outside. There will be no throw, so Bosch will be credited with a stolen base. Second swipe of the year for Bosch. And now the count is 3-1 to Cowgill. Angels leading 4-0. They've added another run here in the 7th inning. High and tight. And ball 4 loads him up again. Cowgill with his second walk of the night. He has been on base 4 times. Hit by a pitch, also a single. And Tim Bogar on out to the mound. That's going to do it for John Edwards. And Bonilla loosening in the bullpen. And Tim Bogar takes the ball from John Edwards. Congratulates him and sends him back to the dugout. And Bonilla coming in. Another pitching change underway here at Globe Life Park. We'll take a timeout. 4-0 Angels. We're back after this. Fox Sports Southwest is teaming up with Dave Campbell's Texas Football to bring you the most comprehensive coverage of highlights and scores from across Texas every Friday night. It all starts Friday at 7 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Luis Alberto Bonilla on now. He inherits a bases loaded, 2-out situation in the 7th inning. His major league debut on Thursday against the Mariners. Bonilla worked 3 innings, gave up a run on a couple of hits. And he is facing Cole Calhoun here with the bases full. Calhoun 2 for 4 tonight, or 1 for 4 tonight, I should say. Had a double in that 6th inning. Calhoun a .282 average. Got O'Malley at third, Bosch at second, Cowgill at first. Off The end of the bat, back to the screen, and it's 1-1. Calhoun getting a kick out of something the ball boy said to him, or did. Bonilla ready, back to the plate. The pitch is high. 2-1. Calhoun with a 5-game hitting streak intact now. Make that a 6-game hitting streak intact. There's that changeup from Bonilla, and that's a good one. Calhoun, this is what he was getting a kick out of. Almost swung and clonked the ball boy.
Well, he didn't see the bat boy. Tim's a big guy, but yeah, he doesn't want to get hit by a bat running by him.
Wouldn't think so.
A little too close to that swing. I was at the game in Jackson, Mississippi back in 19. Oh, you're gonna have to save that one, Buzz.
Okay. 19. I got that part.
19. I've got a whole inning to remember what year it was.
Angels get a run. They leave the bases full, and it's stretch time here in Arlington. Angels 4, Rangers nothing. It's AT Fan Photo. Selected this from all the folks who tweeted their photos to us. Tonight our selection comes from Lynn. Now there is a great looking boomstick. Wow. Thank you very much, Lynn. That makes me hungry kind of looking at that thing. I'm ready to go out and grab something. If you'd like to tweet your photo, it's hashtag Southwest Fan Photo. And again, thanks to the folks at AT&T for making this possible all this year. Rougned Odor leading off for the Rangers here in the 7th inning. Shoemaker misses inside. It is 2 balls, no strikes.
I was talking about that game in Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, 19.
It was 1981, and I was coming back from minor league spring training, and our Tulsa team was playing in Jackson, Mississippi on opening day of the Texas League, so I stopped there on the way home to watch the game. And back then, bat boys didn't wear helmets. And our hitter made an out, dropped the bat on his way to first base right at home plate, and the bat boy sprinted out of the dugout to get the bat. Now, Whitney Harry, our on-deck hitter, was getting ready to go up and hit and took one more practice swing. And as he swung, the bat boy ran right into the swing. Fortunately, I mean, it was the scariest thing you could see at a ball game. Fortunately, he went to the hospital. He was in the hospital for quite a while, but he was okay. But that was one of the things that led to bat boys having to wear helmets.
Yeah.
And that's when it started way back then. There was probably some other instances, but that was the impetus for it back then.
That pulls that pitch foul.
One of the things the bat boys are told is do not run anywhere near the guy in the on-deck circle with the bat under any circumstances. Fortunately, that was not that scary a situation. He was just waving the bat, but kind of illustrates why Tim and the rest of the bat boys are wearing helmets. Whoa!
Shoemaker getting that off his right ear and pulls it down, throws out Rougned Odor.
That was hit hard and looked like it was headed right straight up the middle for a base hit. Shoemaker just self-defense almost. Catches that one-hop smash. Trots over the first like it's routine. Got his head out of the way, though.
Yep,
if he didn't catch it, it wouldn't have hit him.
Odor robbed of a potential another base hit, but that is out number one. And Adrian Beltre now 0 for 2. Steps to the plate. Beltre, a fly ball to deep right his first time, grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th inning.
If Shoemaker hangs on and the Angels win this game, he'll win his 15th ball game. That would break the Angel rookie record for wins.
Hard hit ball by Pujols into right field. And Adrian Beltre continues his streak. It is another game in which he has reached base. And for Adrian Beltre now, that is his 25th consecutive game reaching base. Second longest streak in the major leagues this year. Or active right now, you'd say. Well, the Rangers' first hit since back in the 4th inning. Beltre aboard with 1 out. Adam Rosales, who is 1 for 2, steps in. And you think back about the Angels, they started in 1962. For Shoemaker to have a chance to set the rookie record, they've had some pretty good rookie pitchers.
One of them that had 14 wins was Dean Chance.
Yeah.
He was a terrific pitcher. Frank Tanana had 14 wins. There's one more I can't remember, but pretty good accomplishment for Matt Shoemaker, who had spent a long time in the minor leagues and made the team as a bullpen pitcher.
Going outside, 1 ball, 1 strike to Rosales.
And if you watched him in spring training, I'm sure Mike Scioscia and his staff said, look, this guy would be a perfect long man. He's been a starting pitcher. He doesn't beat himself. He throws strikes. He's got a great assortment of pitches. Perfect guy to have in the bullpen. And a spot starter. Well, he must have gotten a spot start and made the best out of it.
And that pitch in at the knees. It's 1-2.
Garrett Richards was 13-4 when he got hurt. One of the best pitchers in the American League. That really hurt the Angels, but Shoemaker has picked up a lot of the slack, and he's pitched pretty much just as well as Garrett Richards was pitching. Although you can never have too many good starting pitchers. It's not like, okay, well, that's no big deal. We lost Garrett Richards. He was 13-4 with a 2.61 ERA.
Now, Shoemaker has been able to make the wound a little more tolerable, though. 2-2 the count to Rosales. Just off the outside corner. Adam thought about it, checked his swing. The count is full.
Jared Weaver is 16-8. Having a solid year, obviously. C.J. Wilson's 11-9. Leads the league in walks, though, which you wouldn't expect.
Shoemaker with a payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Looked like that splitter, and Adam Rosales waving at it is down on strikes. Just the second strikeout for Shoemaker, though. 2 outs. And before Tomas Davies steps in, let's take time for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you. Dailies takes the first pitch in from Shoemaker. 1 strike. Domas tonight is fly to right, fly to center. Shoemaker, a check of Beltre. High and away. 1-1. Well, that Central Division race looks like that's going to come right down to the wire too, between the Tigers and Royals.
Yeah.
And the second wild card spot may be going to the loser in that. Maybe. I would say that Seattle keeps pace. They're going to have a shot at it themselves. There's a looper into left center field, a base hit. Beltre will stop at second. Taylor with his first hit of the night, and the Rangers now have runners at first and second and 2 away. First time tonight, the Rangers have had 2 runners on base at the same time. Now Mike Butcher, the pitching coach for the Yankees, going out to the mound and get another look at that little looper from Tomas Taylor. Shoemaker, a very manageable pitch total so far, just 91. Despite being still a very warm night, Kevin Jepson, who we saw last night, up and throwing in that Angel bullpen. Not a lot of humidity tonight, so it's a reasonably comfortable evening. Breeze continuing to drift in from right center field at about 10 miles an hour. Well, the Rangers with a couple of hits in the inning. They now have 6 for the night. Shoemaker working to Ryan Rua with 2 on and 2 out. Rua is lined to right field and grounded to short. Beltre checking positioning of the infielders as he gets his lead from second. Broken bat looper, that's going to fall for a base hit. Beltre around third will score. Rua with the RBI base hit. It's now a 4-1 Angels lead.
Well, Ryan had that one coming. He hit the ball hard. Earlier in the ball game, Calhoun ran it down at the wall in right field. That was his first at bat in the second inning. Last night he hit a shot right to Howie Kendrick. So he's hit a couple of balls really hard that have been caught, and so you get a little blooper. It falls in for an RBI, and you earned it, and you'll take it. But again, another pitch by Shoemaker that runs in on a right-hand hitter's fist. He's been very adept at that tonight.
Saw a little wiggle in that phantom cam shot. A little wiggle in that bat, but put in the right spot, and that's fine. Now Mike Scioscia delaying as long as he could before he's going to make his way out to the mound. That's going to do it for Matt Shoemaker. So Shoemaker makes it through 6 2/3 here tonight. He will leave in favor of Kevin Jepson, and Mike Scioscia has the ball in hand. Shoemaker heading back to the dugout. He leaves leading 4-1 with a couple of runners on base are his responsibility. So a pitching change here on Globe Life. The Rangers trying to make up some ground. They trail 4-1. We're back after this. This ball game. They have scored a run. They have 2 runners on with 2 outs and a new pitcher on the hill now for the Angels. It's hard-throwing right-hander Kevin Jepsen.
Well, Jepsen has pitched a lot this year. He had 45 appearances at the All-Star break. This will be his 70th appearance. A lot of strikeouts. Opponent's batting average is only 181. Interestingly enough, since April 1st, he's given up 10 runs. 8 of them have come against the Rangers. He's had 2 separate streaks of 19 appearances without giving up a run. His ERA since May 7th is 1.28.
That Angels bullpen has been very stout, and you're looking at a complete makeover of this Angel bullpen. Last year in particular was just a disaster. But they have gone out, made some changes, have guys pitching much more effectively, and Jepsen one of those. We saw Jepsen last night. He worked the 8th inning, gave up a couple of runs, and dealing to Luis Sardinas here in the first pitch, high and away for ball 1. Sardinas, an infield single and a ground ball to short. Rangers have Tomas Telis at second base. Ryan Rua as at first. Jepsen checking the runners and fires a fastball that's fouled back. 1-1 the count. Sardinas a .253 average as he faces Jepsen. Gets the sign from Chris Iannetta. Jepsen, a belt high set to the plate. 97. And a little tardy with the swing. Sardinas now down on the count 1-2. Telis the lead from second. He is trailed by Rua at first. Got him swinging. Jepsen pretty much overpowering, and Sardinas and the Rangers are gone. Rangers do get a run on 3 hits. They strand 2. We'll move on to the 8th inning in Arlington. It's the Angels 4 and the Rangers 1.
Having a good time. Look at this one. All right, there we go. Time for the Progressive Fan of the Game. We have to give it to Chris, Buzz, and Tom, her 300th consecutive game. Congratulations, Chris. Here's the jersey, all that stuff. What's been your most memorable moment besides sitting next to these guys?
Winning the pennant over Yankees.
Winning the pennant. All right, there we go. All right, well, hopefully we'll see you back for another 300 straight. Appreciate it, Chris. Congratulations.
And he's now at 5'10".
5'10", all right, all right.
What did you get?
150.
He got 150 tonight.
150 now. Okay, way to go. You got a ways to catch up. All right. Way to go, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Buzz.
All right, Knoxy, thank you. Tell them all congratulations. That's a great trio of streaks down there for him. Well, Mike Trout will lead things off here in the Angels' 8th inning. It'll be Trout, Pujols, and Kendrick to face Luis Alberto Bonilla. Bonilla came on to get the final out of the 7th inning. He got a strikeout of Cole Calhoun. The first pitch is ball 1 to Mike Trout. Trout 0 for 1 officially. He has walked twice, been hit by a pitch, and fly to right field. Pitch floats in from Bonilla. 1-1. Luis Alberto Bonilla just continuing his development at the minor league level and averaging over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's right in line with what he has done throughout his minor league career. Rangers getting an opportunity to see if that translates to the big leagues.
Well, if you can throw pitches like that, it will.
Yep.
Pretty good changeup on the first pitch and a nice sinker down and in that Trout missed. Got the same assignment that, what was it last name? Spencer Patton, I think, came in and faced Trout, Pujols, and Kendrick. Mowed him down in about 8 pitches last night.
Fernando Salas, who we also saw last night, loosening in that Angel bullpen. Off speed, it's in, and Trout could only stand there and window shot. No sale, and it's a strikeout.
Well, he threw him a changeup, he threw him a sinker, and he threw him a high slider. Trout's wondering if it's high, but according to our pitch tracks, it wasn't high. It was right in the top of the strike zone. Ball's all the way in the strike zone.
Oh, one away. Now here's Albert Pujols. Still a home run shy of the cycle here tonight. And that off-speed pitch dips in at the upper reaches of the strike zone. Tripled in the first, doubled in the third, singled in the 5th. Last time up, rounded into a double play. And he rolls one out to short. Elvis in the dirt, and it gets by Rosales. And Pujols will head on over to second base, and Elvis just throwing a little lollipop over there. Short hopped Adam Rosales, who couldn't come up with it.
I think that's just a play, Buzz, where Elvis knew that he had plenty of time because Pujols was running and didn't make his normal throw to first base. Instead of coming up and throwing it with authority like he usually does, he's got plenty of time and takes a little bit off it, and it's not accurate. Bounced far enough out in front where Rosales just couldn't make the pick.
For Elvis, his 16th error of the year. Well, the Angels now with Pujols at second base. One out. Howie Kendrick, who has 2 more hits tonight, takes high for ball 1. Kendrick driving in a run, so he has 11 RBI in his last 7 games. He also now has multiple hits in his last 5 straight games. And he's not going to get a chance to swing the bat here with Pujols in scoring position. We'll go ahead and intentionally walk Kendrick. John McDonald, who entered the ballgame defensively for David Freese, is waiting in the on-deck circle. And the 4th wide one. Down to first goes Kendrick. 2 on with 1 out for McDonald. And McDonald now being called back to the Angel dugout. Again, like Tom has told you, there are a multitude of hitters available to Mike Scioscia, and Efrain Navarro is going to be the pinch hitter.
They're going to have a few guys taking the place in that 5th spot in the lineup.
Yep.
Freese, O'Malley, McDonald, Navarro.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Number 19, Efrain Navarro.
Mike Maddox out to chat before the pinch hitter comes to the plate. Luis Alberto Bonilla getting some instructions about who's covering second base, just to make sure that he is aware a ball back to him, which middle infielder will be covering the bag. Efrain Navarro, a .258 average, a home run, and 12 driven in. There with runners at first and second, one out in this 8th inning. Navarro 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter in 2014. And a fastball poured right through there by Bonilla. Navarro, before the rosters were expanded, used primarily at first base to spell Albert Pujols. Pretty good defensive player. Runners in scoring position. He has produced very nicely for the Angels this year at .290. Bonilla waiting for Navarro to get back in the batter's box. Right-hander sets the 1-1 pitch. Pulled down the right field line. That is trouble. It's in and headed to the corner. One run is home. Kendrick being waved around third. He will score. Going to third, Navarro. The throw is late. And the Angels add on 2 more runs. It is 6-1. Navarro, a huge pinch hit. 2-run double.
Looked like an off-speed pitch out over the plate. It stayed up, and Navarro, he's out in front of it. He kind of hooks it, but keeps it plenty fair. It's down in the corner, scores both runners. They call that a triple or a double? Must have been a triple, I guess.
It was a triple, yep.
Yep.
I probably said double, didn't I?
No, I was just wondering whether he stopped at second and came on the throw, but the only throw went to third, so I guess it had to be a triple.
And Navarro out as the pinch runner. Gordon Beckham will take over at third base. And no doubt stay in the ball game to take over at third.
That's the 5th person to be in that spot in the lineup.
Ibar cuts through an off-speed pitch by Bonilla. Ibar tonight 2 for 4. Pair of singles. Last time up. Struck out. Rangers playing the infield all the way in now.
Yeah, it's too bad. Luis Alberto had gotten a strikeout in the 7th. He struck out Trout. He gets the ground ball that should have been 2 up, 2 down in the 8th. Elvis throws it away, and then the intentional walk and the pinch hit triple, and all of a sudden he's coughed up some runs in what might have been a nice quick 1, 2, 3 inning for him.
Yep. Vinny Pestano along with Fernando Salas. Pestano not nearly as close to being ready as Salas is. Now Tim Bogart on his way out to the mound. And we'll see. and Allen, Texas on the hill now. That's Sean Tolleson. He is on to replace Luis Alberto Bonilla.
A solid season for Sean. He's pitched frequently and he's pitched well. Almost a strikeout per inning. Good opponent's batting average to go along with it.
He inherits runners at the corners and 1 out. Chris Iannetta, the catcher, who is 1 for 3 officially tonight, will be the hitter. Tolleson, a high set, and the first pitch to Iannetta is high for ball 1. Iannetta checking with Gary DiSarcina down there at third base coach. See what might be on tap here. Angels leading by 5 at 6-1. There goes Ibar from first, and the pitch is fouled back. So indeed, a little hit and run action, and Ibar will have to retrace his steps. Well, when you're ahead by 5 and you've been playing the way the Angels have been playing, no reason not to put something like that on.
No, keep the pressure on.
Yeah. And normally, lately anyway, it's worked out for the Angels. Every time they've had to have something good happen, it has. Tolleson okays the sign, a check of the runners. That's in the dirt all the way to the backstop. Down from third is Beckham. He crosses home. Into second is Ibar. The Angels take a 7-1 lead on the wild pitch.
Beckham getting high fives. He went in a pinch run at third base, scored on a wild pitch. They'd be carrying him off the field if he hit a home run. Again, Beckham's the 5th person to appear in the box score in the 5th spot in the lineup. Freese, O'Malley, McDonald, Navarro, Beckham.
Yeah, my scorebook is not ready for this kind of action.
Yeah.
I ran out of room on that. 2-1 to Chris Iannetta. Ibar now in scoring position at second. And Tomas Telis is going to go out and have a chat with Sean Tolleson. Sean telling him what he had in mind, and Telis said, okay. Iannetta had a 4th inning single. Hit by a pitch his last time up. Pitch up almost over his head. It's 3 balls and a strike. Tolleson okays the sign. And the pitch fouled back and out of play. A full count to Iannetta. Iannetta hitting 7th in the order. He'll be followed by the designated hitter tonight, Brennan Bosch. Angels 7 runs on 14 hits. They have committed a couple of errors. Rangers 1 run on 7 hits. And they have 1 error. And that 1 error in this inning contributing to the damage so far. Another 3-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Iannetta getting rung up by the first base umpire, Doug Eddings, and angrily claps his hands as he turns around and goes back to the Angel dugout. That is out number 2.
Let's see if he swung. Ooh, that was close. That's something you don't see Iannetta do very often.
Yeah.
He's called out for swinging at a bad, or swing at a bad pitch, period, whether he's called out on it or whether he swung. Generally, he's got a great eye at the plate, wouldn't even begin to offer at that pitch.
Bosch got his 4th RBI of the year for the Angels and a fielder's choice ground out. It was in the 7th inning. 0 for 4 officially tonight. He has Ibar out at second base. 3 runs across here in the 8th inning. Broken bat, 1 hopper to Rougned Odor. And that will do it for the Angels. They get 3 runs on just 1 hit. There was a very big error and 1 man left after 7.5. Now the Angels 7 and the Rangers 1.
Not as pretty a game. Once again, the 8th inning presenting big trouble for the Rangers tonight, and they trail now 7-1. John Radigan here at the Captain Morgan Club. Pudge Rodriguez, Mark McLemore will join me for Rangers Live, presented by Esurance, coming up right after the game. We will talk this one through from start to finish and try to give you some perspective on it. We will also hear from Tim Bogar and, of course, some of the players as well. Pudge is here already. He's just hanging out, waving, and having a good time. We'll all be here in just a few minutes. It'll be Rangers Live, presented by Esurance, guys, right after the game.
All right, John, thank you.
We're over here, Pudge. You're looking the wrong way.
Now, Michael Choice will lead off for the Rangers here in the bottom of the 8th, and Vinny Pestano is the new pitcher that Mike Scioscia has brought into the ballgame.
Vinny Pestano was a pretty solid reliever for several years with Cleveland. Had an injury, I think. 16 games this season. Trying to regain that form he had going there for the Indians. Setup reliever, did a great job for him.
This is with ball 2 to Michael Choice. Choice 0 for 2 tonight. He has fouled out and grounded into a double play. Pestano back to the plate. And Choice fouls it out of play. Michael now a 180 average, leading off the Rangers' 8th inning. Texas now trailing by half a dozen. The pitch outside. No, it's 3-1. So Michael trying to get aboard for the top of the order. And that means Leonis Martin and company. Pestano's 3-1. High ball 4. And Michael pretty patient at bat to gather that leadoff walk. Now Pestano will have to deal with Leonis Martin, who is 0 for 3. Martin grounded out last time. Other than that, he has popped out and flied out. And a strike to the outer edge. 0-1. There's a base hit the other way for Leonis Martin. Now going with the pitch, and Martin has his first hit of the night. Rangers with 2 aboard and nobody out.
We were talking about him in the pregame show. That's one of the reasons why he has played so well over the last month. His ability to, on the outside pitch, drive it the other way instead of trying to pull it. Becoming very adept at that. Something he wasn't doing earlier in the season or last year for that matter.
Yep.
So it's maybe maturing into the kind of player that the Rangers envision him becoming.
2 on, nobody out. Here's Elvis, who is 1 for 3. Pestano's first pitch on the way. Ball 1. Elvis base hit, came back in the first inning. Single to center, and since then he has struck out and grounded to second. Elvis just 0 for 1 against Pestano in previous matchups. And the pitch is high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Chris Iannetta out to talk with Pestano, and he'll be joined by Mike Butcher as Neil Kotz loosens in the Ranger bullpen. Pestano listening to Mike Butcher, and Butcher trying to find the right words to get him down in the strike zone. Two balls and no strikes to Elvis. Pestano checking the runners and misses high. 3-0. Pestano having a little trouble finding the strike zone. He's given up a walk to Michael Choice, who's at second. Leonis Martin took him the other way for a base hit. 3-0 pitch, and that catches the corner. It is 3-1. 26,611 here tonight. The 3-1 pitch on the way. Ball 4, that'll load him up with nobody out for Rougned Odor.
So going to go in and talk to him, thinking about bringing in another pitcher. He needs a few more pitches out there and need a little extra time. Kendrick goes in and hang in there, big guy. Just doing what the manager told me to do.
Another former Cleveland bullpen hand, Joe Smith. Smith has been very good at the tail end of the Angels bullpen this year for him. And now to buy a little more time, Chris Iannetta. And he will be followed very closely by Adam Hahari, the home plate umpire. Make sure they don't go down the four-corner stall tactics. And as soon as Iannetta gets back behind the plate, and probably see Mike Scioscia head out to the mound. Scioscia checking with the bullpen to see if they're ready. Mike Butcher gives him the word. And here he comes. Scioscia on his way to the mound, and I believe he has given Joe Smith an opportunity to throw about 10 or 12 pitches in that little delay tactic. And Scioscia makes the move to the bullpen. So Joe Smith will come on. He will inherit a bases loaded, nobody out. Ranger rally here in the 8th inning. Rangers trailing 7-1, but making noise against the Angels. We're Going to take time out for a pitching change. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Now for the Rangers facing Joe Smith. This is the 10th appearance by Joe Smith this year against the Rangers.
Well, Joe Smith has obviously done a nice job for the Angels. Got a lot of decisions, 7-2 for a late inning reliever, which is unusual. Nice ERA of 1.98. 43 hits in 68 innings. Opponents are hitting 178 against him. They have 15 saves as well. Then they made the trade for Houston Street. Houston Street took over as the closer, and Joe Smith went back to the role that he's had for most of his career, that of the 8-inning setup man. He's excellent at that.
So Smith on. Now he will face Rougned Odor with the bases loaded and nobody out here in the 8th inning. Rangers trailing 7-1. Remember, Rougned Odor, a grand slam in Seattle. There's only a bases loaded blast in his career thus far. 1 for 3 tonight. And a strike, belt high on the outer corner. Mentioned Smith appearing in his 9th game this year against the Rangers. 8 1/3 innings, allowed only 1 run. In his career, Smith is 1-2 in this his 30th game against Texas. Little looper to left field. Coming on, Colin Cowgill tagging at third and bluffing a move toward the plate. His Michael Choice, but not nearly deep enough to try it when you're trailing by 6. And that is out number 1. Odor skies out to left. And the base is still loaded for Adrian Beltre. Now, this one situation where you don't have any place to put Beltre.
No, got to pitch to him here. Although I guess guys have been walked with the bases
yes, they have.
Before.
AT&T Universe Rewind. Adrian Beltre against Hector Santiago going up on Greens Hill. 410 feet plus. Adrian with his 18th home run of the year, and Joe Smith fires strike 1 to him.
Seems like Buck Showalter walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded, and someone walked Josh Hamilton with the bases loaded, if I remember.
I think it was Joe Madden.
Was it?
I think so. Beltre chops it foul at home plate and now finds himself down in the count 0-2. Beltre in his career against Smith, 1 for 10. And that one, a home run. Rangers trailing by 6, so they have the tying run in the hole, as they say. Iannetta flashing the signs out. Smith picks one out. And that is wide. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beltre singled to right his last time up, extending his streak to 25 consecutive ball games reaching base. 1 for 3, the batting average right where it began tonight at .327. Adrian, that's about as defensive a swing as you'll see him have. Just fighting off that good sinking fastball from Smith. Beltre up there with Choice, Leonis Martin, and Elvis Andrus. Third, second, and first. Bottom of the 8th inning. There are your runners. The Angel defense playing back. Smith reads the signs and he's ready to go. Rolled out to short. The second, back to first in time. And the double play induced by Joe Smith. The Rangers are gone in the 8th. No runs on 1 hit with 2 left. And we will head to the top of the 9th inning. The Angels lead the Rangers 7-1.
Top of the Rangers as we head to the top of the 9th here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. This is game 2 of this series between the Halos and the Rangers, which means game 3 comes tomorrow. 7 o'clock here on Fox Sports Southwest. Howie Kendrick and Adrian Beltre, a couple of the hot bats in this one. We'll get you started at 6:30 with Rangers Live. As always, this look ahead brought to you by AT&T Universe, fellas.
All right, Em. As we go to the top of the 9th inning, Neil Cott's charged with coming into the ballgame and keeping this at a 6-run deficit.
Good numbers for Neil.
Well, Cott's here in the 9th inning. Will face Colin Cowgill. And then the Angels flip the order and go right back to the top with Cole Calhoun and Mike Trout. Cowgill has been aboard all 4 times he has come to the plate tonight. 1 for 1 officially, had a single his first time up. Since then he has walked a couple of times and hit by a pitch. And he wasn't about to hang around for a walk that time. He was up there wailing at the first pitch with no success. Cowgill with his average now up to 263. Cott's back to him and just missed off the inside corner. Cowgill one previous at bat against Neil Cott, 0 for 1. Now down in the count, 1-2. Calgill getting back in there. Rangers defend him a step or so around to the left, both infield and outfield. Kotz reading the signs from Telis. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, the Angels coming into play tonight, excellent road record. They're at 42-31. And Calgill pops it up. Shallow center, backpedaling Elvis Andrus. Calls everybody off and makes the grab for out number 1. Yoselan Herrera is loosening in the Angel bullpen. The 1 out, Cole Calhoun is next. Calhoun 1 for 5 tonight. Angels with 14 hits this evening to plate their 7 runs. Calhoun foul off to the left. Cole had a double in the 6th inning. It was one of the innings the Angels loaded the bases, and Rangers got Albert Pujols to ground into an inning-ending double play. The 0-1 pitch. Calhoun 2 for 6 against Kotz. Has an extra base hit, a double, which you would kind of expect from Calhoun. Makes that pitch low, 2 balls and a strike. Angels this year against the Rangers have given them fits. They are 11-3 against Texas. Rangers have only won 1 game of the 8 played here this so far. That ball is hammered to right field, and Calhoun is going to touch them all. His 16th home run of the year, and it is an 8-1 Angels lead.
He's got some juice in his bat for a leadoff hitter, that's for sure. Got a chance of hitting 20 home runs as a leadoff hitter this year. They've got the best offense in baseball right now, and he's the one that starts it off at the top of the lineup. Compact, solidly built guy with a short, compact swing. Yep, and he can put a charge in it.
Oh, an 8-1 Los Angeles lead, and now Mike Trout. 386 feet on the home run by Cole Calhoun. Trout 0 for 2 tonight, although he has walked a couple of times, been hit by a pitch. And Elvis going to have to hurry to get to speedy Trout, and just in time. Boy, he can motor down that line, and Elvis did everything he possibly could to get a lot on that throw and needed it.
I didn't think he had any chance of getting Trout on that ball. Mike Scioscia's waiting to get the replay call. He got it. Trout didn't argue. He knew he was out. He was coming back to the dugout. Beautiful play by Elvis.
Yep.
He got in position to throw it, and he knew he had to get rid of it quickly. He got him by just about a foot. There it is.
Right there.
Less than a foot. 6 inches from the bag.
Well, 2 outs now. Albert Pujols with one more opportunity to try for the cycle. Single, double, triple. He's also reached on an error, which was a big play in this game back in the 8th inning. It opened the door for a 3-run 8th for the Angels. That's not going to get out of the ballpark. Elvis there makes a strong throw this time, and Pujols retired, so are the Angels. But Cole Calhoun gets the Angels on the board again, his 16th home run of the year. We will go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Angels 8 and the Rangers 1. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T U-Burst TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. And by your Texas Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event. Now playing at a Ford dealer near you. The Angels piling it on the last couple of innings against the Rangers. 8-1 now. The Halos lead. And Yosan Herrera has come out of the Angel bullpen to take over.
Herrera's had 12 games under his belt already. 10 1/3. 8 walks in 10 1/3. Probably doesn't want to walk a couple of guys because then someone else is going to get up in the bullpen. So
yeah,
he's going to be trying to throw strikes. Vinny Pestano walked a couple of guys and Joe Smith came in.
And Herrera will deal with Adam Rosales to start things off. Rosales, Teguis, and Rua. And the first pitch is low for ball one. Rosales a single in 3 trips, hitting at .294. And that is out of play to the right. Rosales, a leadoff single in the second. He was erased with 2 outs, trying to steal second base. Pretty good off-speed pitch, and Rosales just got a piece to stay alive. A ball on 2 strikes. Rangers and Angels conclude this series tomorrow night. Nick Martinez on the hill looking for his 4th win of the year. And Corey Rasmus, a spot start for the Angels. Got him swinging. Herrera gets the strikeout, 1 away in the Ranger 9th inning.
A pretty good pitch. I'm not sure whether that was a slider or a splitter or what it was, but about 5 miles an hour less than his fastball and really dropped right at the end. Whatever it was tough to hit.
That is euphemistically called a changeup.
Changeup?
That's what it's called. I'm not sure that's exactly what it is because that thing just, somebody had a string pulling that thing straight down. Tomas Teguis has a base hit in 3 trips. Singled his last time up. That was in the 7th inning. Herrera missing inside. Pretty lively fastball, too. It looks like he might be a little bit sneaky. And a tall, slender right-hander with fairly long arms. Daly's waiting. Takes that strike all the way. It's 2-1. Tomas batting at .233. As he hits here in the 9th inning with 1 out. Slapped the other way by the dive of Beckham and into left field. Teguis will hang on, and Galgo gets the ball back in quickly. So Tomas Teguis, a multiple hit game as he singles for the 2nd time tonight. 1 on and 1 out for Ryan Rua.
Goes with a pitch, fastball up and away. Finds the hole.
Teguis aboard. Rangers now with 9 hits tonight. They have not made great use of them as of yet. A couple of double plays have certainly hurt their cause. And Rua going after that first pitch, fouls it back to the screen. Ryan singled home the only Ranger run of the night back in the 7th inning. Now 6 RBIs at the big league level, a .289 average. 0-2. Whatever that thing is at Herrera Stone, it must look kind of funky. These guys are having bad swings at it.
Yeah.
Even when it's up.
Well, he's seen the fastball and he's seen the off-speed pitch.
Herrera had gotten Iannetta to throw out the curveball sign, and Iannetta, after he put it down, said, well, wait a minute now. Let's rethink this. Wanted to make sure he told him, I want that ball bounced. Pulled on the ground to third. Could be two. Second, back to first, and the double play ends the ball game. The third double play turned tonight by the Angels, and Los Angeles victorious for the second straight night in this series. Tonight, 8-1 the final score as the Angels down the Rangers, and the Rangers will try to salvage one of the 3 games here tomorrow night. So 8-1 the final, and John and Mac and Pudge will be back to wrap things up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.